had a 3.7 team GPA last spring. So we're recruiting young men that fit the academic mission of the university. A lot of people will tell you that our business is very transactional right now. And I've heard that, but I've refused to undertake that, and that's not who I am. I got in this game 30 plus years ago to impact young people's lives in a positive way. I would tell you today that's my intention. And we're going to recruit high character, high integrity people with core values in our basketball program. And that resonates with people who have an upbringing like that. And that resonates with people who want to be in an environment like that. So we've managed to recruit people to our program with similar values and different backgrounds and great diversity on the team, but certainly similar values. I guess rather than being transactional, we've been transformational. And mentoring young people is still something that I enjoy doing. And it's maybe the most gratifying part of the business for me.
They have a Field of 68 alum on that coaching staff now.
They do.
Yeah. Shimon Williams, Field of 68 alum.
How about that? You bring up a great point, and we've, when you take a look at your team and the differences that you've made, I will tell you as a head coach, you get done with the season and you really analyze and you figure out what you need, whether it be the addition of players and positions and strengths and of your team. And I think one of the things that we need to continue to develop as a program is to add experience to our coaching staff. And wow, have we done that? I mean, you mentioned Shimon Williams. You tell me, if you're a player on our team and you have a player who's played in 3 Final Fours in 7 years as an NBA player, what kind of respect that brings and what kind of expertise he can shed on your players. And then Bill Peterson, I don't know if you're aware of Bill, but Bill spent the last 7 years at Baylor as assistant to the head coach to Scott Drew. He was an 11-year NBA coach, player development guy for the Mavs when Dirk and Nash were there. He is such an elite on the court player development guy. These guys have added so much to our program, and they've been at the level that every player in college basketball aspires to be at, and they've made a huge impact on our program.
Yeah, Shimon Williams.
You got the young guy, Curran Walsh, too.
So.
Shimon Williams.
Curran and Jack Front. We've improved, and we've gotten more experienced at every position on our staff.
Shimon was responsible for the greatest moment in the history of Field of 68 when he officially ended the North Carolina-Duke rivalry at the 2022 Final Four. He said it was over. Carolina won the rivalry forever and ever and ever.
Well, I will tell you, we had a player in on a campus visit last week, and the parents were Duke fans. And he happened to mention that during his time at Carolina, he was 9-1 against Duke.
So not going to hold back. We know that,
he won't.
Right?
No, he won't.
So I heard back in the day, you worked at Disneyland.
Wow.
That's true.
Well, you talk about doing your research, Jeff.
What did you do?
You're the only guy in the country who's come up with that.
I'm dying to know, what job did you hold at Disneyland, and how old were you?
Well, it was a high school senior when I got the job, and then worked there, over the years while I was in college. And
were you like Mickey Mouse? Were you dressing up?
Well, we all dressed up. We wore costumes. That was the terminology. I drove submarines. How about that? I worked in Tomorrowland, and I drove submarines. I worked on Mission to Mars. I flew to Mars some days, and I did, and worked on the bumper cars, Autopia, and I had a great experience there. It was a cool time in your life.
Remember what you made per hour back then?
Well, I do, and it was a lot back then. And I guess this will really date myself. At $9.96 an hour. And that was big
money.
Time. Absolutely.
Right?
Did you get free admission to the parks too?
We did. That was a great perk.
That's why he got the job.
I had that for a while when I worked.
You really did your homework.
Yeah,
You'll be the only guy in the country who came up with that one.
Who have you seen the biggest progression from this offseason? Obviously with the void in Tommy's scoring. You're going to need someone to kind of step up and create some of that offense for you. Who have you seen that maybe can step into? I'm not saying score 24 a game, but who can kind of fill some of that scoring role?
Yeah, well, I think we have the 4 players that I mentioned can do that on any given night, and they've made great progress. The experience that they had coming into this building and getting to the championship game of the tournament a year ago was tremendous experience for DeAndre in running our team. He had a coming out party here last March, and Isaiah Carr, the league's leading shot blocker, has put on 20 pounds of great weight. The league's leading shot blocker, rim protector, Pedro Lopez, San Vicente, and Isaiah Otto Anchor. Those guys will have those games for us this year, but we will be more balanced. I think an area that you're really going to see a huge improvement in our program is on the defensive end. Along with DeAndre.
Can I make a joke that says you have a long way to go on that side of the floor?
Well, lots of room for improvement,
Yeah,
right? But I tell you, Coach Peterson is kind of taking the defensive end of things for us as a staff, and we've certainly put a lot of emphasis on that. But I will tell you, DeAndre Craig, without a doubt, is an elite level defender. Nick Shagbano, who's a junior college transfer for us, is one of the best on the ball defenders I think I've ever worked with. Those guys, if you can put pressure on the basketball at 25 feet, 28 feet, I mean, how much better does your half court defense get? And then, you're more apt to put pressure on the perimeter and do some trapping. In ball screen situations when you have rim protection. And, with Isaiah Carr back there, we have a freshman, Kaba, who's a 7-footer, who shows great promise. We've got great rim protection as well. So I think while there was, as you mentioned, Rob, an area for an improvement, we certainly will be very good there. And I think you'll see, in a way to make up for some of Tommy's offense, I think this year our defense will create some easy offense for us.
Last thing I got for you, DeAndre Craig, again, stepping into more of a leadership role this season, right? How do you develop that in a player? How do you get them to take maybe more ownership of the team? And I'm not saying that he didn't play that way before, but how do you develop that in the offseason? Because it's not like making your jump shot better or getting in the weight room or doing 2-ball dribbling drills, right?
Yeah.
There's a mental aspect to it as well.
I think it's experience. It's hard to have a leader who doesn't have the game experience. You saw DeAndre's game evolve last year, and he had a very solid season for us. I think like a lot of freshmen hit a freshman wall, if you will, in January, and he busted through that rather quickly. And to where he was playing his best ball of the year in March in the conference tournament. And I think that gave him the confidence that he can do it. He could do it on an everyday basis. And once you have that confidence now, I think, we've had many conversations about him leading the team. And certainly you need a leader in your point guard position. He's such a high character, a high integrity guy. He cares about his teammates. He has the respect of all of his teammates. He sets a great example every single day in practice. Just his effort is tremendous. So he does all the things that a leader is supposed to do. And then he has the intrinsic qualities in his personality and his character, I think, to command the respect of everyone. And he's certainly ready to take that step for us next year.
Yeah, well, we're going to hear from him now. We're going to hear from DeAndre and Isaiah Carr. Jeff, it's been a pleasure. Great to see
always.
you, man.
Were you guys on the nonstop flight from D.C. to Sioux Falls last night?
No, we stopped in Minneapolis, man.
Well, I'm pushing. Maybe we get this in Denver sometime.
Nice. I would not complain about that.
Get a nonstop there.
There you go.
A little bit easy.
Take you out to dinner at one of our great restaurants in Denver.
Great seeing you, man. Great seeing you, man.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
your coverage of our league. Thank you.
The best employee that Disneyland has ever had in the history of the organization. So we'll be joined here by DeAndre and Isaiah in just a minute. And Jeff, we appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks,
best of luck with Shamond.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
You told King Rice and I were still out. So, yeah. Right. All good. All right. We'll bring up DeAndre and Isaiah here now. And what's up, guys?
Man? We are live.
How are you?
We are live. We're still streaming. Mics are hot, so don't say anything too crazy yet. DeAndre, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Isaiah, first of all, I want to say how good you look adding 20 pounds. Rob has
Here we
added
go.
20 pounds too.
Okay.
It's all right there. You
Yeah.
see it? Ice cream.
See, thank you.
It's ice cream. It's, beer, a lot of beer.
A lot of beer. It's the
A lot
beer.
of beer. So
the beer,
you
will
look
do it
good.
to you.
Appreciate you.
All right. First of all, my big question, I'll ask both of you guys this. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about, losing Tommy. You're going to get both excited. You're going to get a few more shots now this year.
Yeah. Losing Tommy it's hard to replace that, leading scorer in the country, but it just, at the end of the day, it's just about adjustments and how we're going to adjust. And I think we're adjusting pretty fine, after losing his talent.
What's it been like, DeAndre? I want to follow up on that for you. Going from your freshman year to being a sophomore leader now, especially coming out of like Chicago, like different area. Everything was an adjustment last year, getting comfortable, newcomer to Division I college basketball. What's it been like now having that kind of on your shoulders coming into this season?
It was expected, after the season, me and coach talked a lot, he was like, just be prepared to have that on your shoulders. And I just always carried that with me, but I never let it get to my head or anything like that. Never want to get too big headed. It's an honor to have pressure on you, but at the end of the day, I just take it one step at a time.
Yeah. Isaiah, your coach said that he thinks that you have a chance to be the best big man in the Summit League this season. What is it? One, that's some pressure to put on you, right? He's pushing you. But two, what does it mean to have a coach that believes in you that much?
I think it means everything. A lot of times, a lot of players don't have the belief of their coaches, and when they know they have someone that backs them up and is really believing in who they are as a person, it really pushes their confidence to be something bigger. And I think it's incredible. We've been talking ever since the ending of last season, and we've been talking before that even as well, what his expectations are from me and what expectations I told him I want for myself, and he follows along and he agrees with that. And he's been an incredible mentor in ways that I didn't know I could be mentored. And he's said he's done all the right things, and he's acted accordingly as a coach should.
Yeah, he talked about your rim protection. He talked about your on-ball defense. There are 362 teams in Division I basketball. You guys ranked 351st in defensive efficiency on KenPom last year. That means he's going to be asking you guys to step up defensively. How do you improve that on that end? On both
what do you think when you hear that number first?
It's a big number. It's a big number, but obviously this year with the coaches that we'd added, we're going to be much better defensively than we were last year. Our defensive coach, Coach Peterson, his experience with basketball is 45 years, coaching the NBA, he's been at Baylor, G League. His emphasis is strictly defense. It's like, no, he's not worried about the offense. He's defense.
We know Shaman's not worried.
Yeah, he's not worried about the defense at
all. You can tell him we said that now, please.
Yeah, so I feel like the defense this year won't be a problem. I feel like we're going to be the best defensive team in this league this year.
You got to flip that. Is that they talk about that in practice a lot, right? How much time you're going to work on. Most programs work primarily on their offense. Right. Has that flipped this year? Have you seen a big difference in practice? How much time you guys are devoting towards defense?
I would say yes. It's been a big emphasis on balance, especially because we want to be a big defensive team as well as keeping the ball flowing on offense. We don't want to completely take out the emphasis of offense, obviously, but we're making sure we're dogs in it. Coach Peterson is our liaison in our defense, and he is our guy when it comes to, hey, we're going to go ahead and get in teams early. We're going to go ahead and pressure the ball anytime we can, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that we're dogs, all five guys who are connected together on the floor, talking to each other, communicating, and we're going to be doing that all the time.
It's easy to kind of to say we need to be better defensively, right? But I do think that the proof is kind of in the pudding, right? You guys made it to the Summit League championship game. And I think you gave up 60 points and 63 points in the two games to get to the championship game. So, it's you can say it in your head, but then when you actually see it, like that helps, right? It says, yes, this can work, right, Isaiah?
No, 100%. And when you said 361, yeah, DeAndre says a big number, but that's something that can easily be that can be climbed. Mm-hmm. And with a little bit of effort, a little bit of time, especially when it comes to practice, and the emphasis that the coaches put on us as players. We want to try and emphasize that to our young guys as well. Say, hey, this is what we're focusing on. This is what we're going to go ahead and do this year. We're going to try and accomplish that.
All right, Isaiah, tell me the story recently when your scooter ran out of battery while you were on campus. True?
It has, yeah. One time, I've been.
He's like, how do you get that?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right. He's looking at me like,
I was like, how do you know that? Well, man.
First of all, the fact that a 7-footer you're riding a scooter around.
Yeah, can we talk about
campus,
that?
Hey, I can only visualize that one.
At my previous collegiate place, it was kind of needed to have a scooter just to get around campus. Same applies here. Whenever I'm around campus, and I have a good one. I got a really good scooter.
What do you got?
It's called a 9-bot. It's really not that big.
look at DeAndre's face right now.
He likes to walk everywhere. I'm a big scooter guy. I like to save my knees whenever I can.
Smart move for a 7-footer.
Yeah, and I'm not going too fast. I'm not getting hurt on that thing. I did lose battery one time. It's because I had to go to 4 different classes.
So were you pissed? You must have been upset.
Oh, I was probably
runs out.
I was probably maybe 2 blocks away, so it was not that far.
So
but
you gotta carry the scooter.
Would you just throw it over your shoulder?
I pushed it. I pushed it with me. It's an electric scooter, so it's not.
What do you think when you see a 7-footer rolling around on a bird scooter?
I see him every day on the scooter. I just give him a quick little glance. I do a little smile, and it's just like a lot of guys on the team have scooters, so we're hard to miss. They're the tallest guys on campus.
And we've become people who. We've become the team on campus that all the teams are wanting to get scooters now. So everyone that's walking around campus, they go, "Oh, that's really nice." Oh, they zoom by. And now some of the soccer team has some of them. Some of we don't know. Like it's great.
So you're a trendsetter, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Except for DeAndre.
Except for DeAndre.
Not going there.
Yeah, I started the scooter movement in our locker room. It was me and another player that had scooter, and now. It was 2 of them last year. Now there's like 6 or 7. So
guys also imagine this one, the big boy 7-footer jumping rope.
Oh yes,
right.
Yes,
you good
every single day. I got so much better. At first I wasn't the best, but every single day, you just got to get better with it, and that's honestly an emphasis with Coach Peterson. He wants us to be light on our feet, and I would love if you had to jump up right now, I'd show you everything I got.
You be good?
Of course I would.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm really.
So like the first couple times, was it like you couldn't even get that thing around once?
I was able to get it around, but there's a lot of there's a lot of kind of tactical stuff when it comes to jump rope as well. Like you want to be light on your feet. You want to be like you're trying to get an inch off the floor every single time. You want to make sure the rope gets on you quickly. With Coach Pearson, we do a lot of speed work, double jumps, and that.
Can you do tricks now? Like Can you do some of the tricks?
Yeah, I can do a lot of different tricks. Yeah, we're working on that. But
hey, we got to get that. We need some video of.
Hey, we'll bring the jump ropes out here, and you all can see it for yourself.
I love DeAndre's face. He's just cringing every time he's got something to say. My favorite part about this interview has been like we've asked you guys about basketball, and it's just kind of like, yeah, we got to get better defensively. Then we ask him about jump rope, but he starts breaking it down. He's got the analysis. This is why my scooter is the best kind of scooter.
Oh gosh,
is this what you got to deal with every day with him?
Yeah, it's an everyday. It's an everyday thing. But I love him like a brother.
Go ahead, let's go.
So the rumor has it you have a really good Croc collection.
Oh yeah, I got the best in the yeah. I got the best Croc game in the country.
Who's got a big Croc collection? Mark Madsen. He's big into the Crocs. The head coach at Cal.
I don't get them. I don't understand it.
Why?
You got a pair?
You got
to get a pair. Man. I'm telling you.
Why?
They're comfortable. You could throw them on with anything. Like it's an everyday shoe. If you're rushing late to class or something, you could just slip them on and you're out the door.
Really? They got style.
And they have a lot. I got every
What do you
Croc.
have? Like every color?
I got Toy Story. I got cars. I got SpongeBob, Patrick,
Really?
Cinnamon Toast. I got everything.
How many pairs of Crocs do you have?
A lot. I can't tell you a number. A lot.
I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah, if you see the shoes he's wearing right now, he never really wears these. He's wearing the Crocs.
I can't believe you didn't wear Crocs here.
I wish I could.
If you wanted that sponsorship, if you wanted that NIL, you should have worn them here. Just put your foot up on the table. We got the Chucks up here, man. We could have put your Crocs in place of where's the Denver shoe. We should have switched it out.
Smart idea.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, guys, appreciate the time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Please don't fall off the scooter.
Of course not.
All right,
no,
that's 7 feet is a long way to go if you're going down.
I will.
Long way to go if you're going down.
Hey, it's been
pleasure meeting you, man.
Guys.
Really appreciate meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys.
Too.
Tell Shimon that we said hello.
Okay.
And
The best podcaster. He was so good at podcasting that he left.
That's right. He was a part of us for a while.
Yeah, appreciate you, fellas.
Good luck.
Thank
All
you.
right. Nice meeting you.
Thank you again.
Good meeting
Nice
you
meeting you
guys.
guys.
Nice meeting you.
We will have we're gonna have St. Thomas up here next. I believe Johnny Towers coming up here in just a minute or two. Do you see anyone around here? Oh, there he is back there. You can see the purple shirt that he's got on. St. Thomas, former Division III program. That was fun.
They were great.
Yeah,
They
you
were
got some
great.
good dirt on
Started a little bit, you gotta loosen them up.
Yeah, you should have asked him about the scooter right off the jump.
Really? Right out of the gates, you think?
Oh,
that's
right out of the gates. That's all they wanted to talk about.
What's up?
They
Here he is.
didn't want to talk basketball with us.
We are live.
Coach, we are live.
Okay.
What's going on, man? How we doing?
I feel bad that we got in late last night. We were going to try to meet you, but we had a connecting flight from DC. It's not easy to get here.
He's lying about that. We had a snafu at the airport. Jeff ordered an Uber to pick us up and drop us off at the airport. He made the destination be the same place that we were when we were getting picked up.
Was it in Minneapolis?
No, he was here at Sioux Falls.
He's saying
When
we got here,
the direction was just a loop. So she picked us up at the airport, and she was like, "Are you sure you have the right address? Because it's saying to drop you off back there."
He likes the airport here in
Yeah,
Sioux
it's a-
Falls. The aesthetics,
great-
everything.
it's a
He's
great
like, can we just
airport.
do, what was that movie? Big Ben Parliament. Remember that?
Just going around.
Yeah.
Just going around.
National Lampoon's European Vacation or something?
Whatever. We could have
Yeah.
slept there. It's fine. How you doing?
Great. Good to
Yeah.
be here.
Life is good.
Yeah, doing very well. Kids are good at home and excited to be back.
He's really upset because Parker wasn't going to be here this year.
Well, Parker, it's
Yeah.
his fan club. You heard the
Yeah.
story, right?
Yeah.
You got to tell
No, go ahead. Tell him. Go ahead. 'cause
So Parker-
they don't.
Parker is one of the most unique stories in the history of basketball. I told you that last year. I'm admittedly biased, but the kid didn't play for 2+ years, and he ends up in Division III because he made too much money in his business ventures. And then he comes out and plays Division I. He ends up back-to-back all-conference, leads us to 20 wins last year. And we're making this drive last year, and I'm like, hey, most of these are Summit League, but there's one national, one field of 6. I didn't want to talk you guys to your heads are going to get big, but I'm like, this one, it's a national thing. He's like, oh, who's on it? And I'm like, well, here are the names, Rob, Jeff. And I say Jeff Goodman. And so we get done. A year ago today, we meet over there. We're like, how was it? He's like, that was so cool. But Coach Van Gundy is so down to earth. I'm like, what? He's like, Jeff Van Gundy is really down to earth. I'm like, who? And he's like, Jeff Van Gundy. I read all about him last night for like 30 minutes, and his background's incredible, but he's so humble. He didn't talk about his own coaching, nothing. I'm like, Parker, that was Jeff Goodman, not Jeff Van. So he pulls up his phone. He's like looking at you from here, looking at his
way
phone.
more hair than
Well,
Jeff Van Gundy.
I did say, Coach Van Gundy's good, but had you gone into coaching, you may very well have been just as successful. So yeah, I don't know if we can outdo.
Hold on. You think he would have been a good basketball
Oh, he'd have
coach?
been unbelievable. I
That'd
mean,
be a great coach.
you're a Vassar guy, right? If I remember correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. It is.
He's a hell of a coach.
Ask him what a ball screen coach
Parker
is.
would play for him. I know that. Parker would sign up.
Exactly. I can
Yeah.
motivate Parker.
You would have been a recruiter. That's all you would have been able to do.
Hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
Would have been a great bag man.
There's a lot of value.
All right. Let's get this back on the rails. Fourth season this year as a Division I program, and it's the first one where you've kind of been able to, they say it takes 3 or 4 years to get your guys in. It takes 3 or 4 years for you guys to get your Division I guys in. How has it changed the way that you go about recruiting players, trying to build programs, trying to develop? What has changed in the way that you've kind of run this thing now versus where the first year you made the transition up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's interesting because concurrent, we became Division I July 1, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is the same date that NIL transfer portal. So you think about all the stuff that happened. I think about my life, June 30th, 2021, and then July 1st, 2021.
Completely different.
But I actually think a lot of things haven't changed. The way we play, the values that we have, the kinds of players and people that we recruit are very similar. Now, I do think it's a different recruiting pitch, so to speak, because the guys who we recruited in those first couple of years, we flat out told them, you have zero chance of playing in the NCAA tournament. It does not matter. Now, probably on the outside, nobody thought we were going to win 19 and 20 games in year 2 and 3, but they knew there was no chance. And we lost a lot of kids to programs that, frankly, weren't going to the NCAA tournament on a regular basis, but they had a chance. You know, the old Jim
They could
Carrey,
sell
you're saying there's a
dream.
chance, right? I think we've really tried to recruit holistically, like what's St. Thomas's University, the academics, the alumni network, the location. And now here we are 4 years later, and, you know, we're eligible for the tournament a couple of years from now. We've got a new arena, $185 million arena that is being built as we speak and is going to be unbelievable. And so I think we're just trying to make incremental progress. And sometimes that's quantitative, whether you look at the net rankings, Ken Palm wins in a season, but sometimes it really is. I look at the 5 freshmen we brought in this year, 3 transfers, 4 redshirt freshmen. Now my hair is going to get grayer because we got 11 guys who have never played 1 minute at St. Thomas, but we're really excited about the foundation we laid the first 3 years and then the pieces we've been able to add.
Is that part of the reason why you went heavy freshman when so many programs don't right now? Because you felt like, I'm going to build for, hopefully we can retain them, and when we are eligible, we can have an older team?
I do think we're going to always err on the side of recruiting high school kids. And that's just, I think some of it is what we have to offer at St. Thomas, that they generally, and I have to make the statement, but generally kids who are coming to St. Thomas aren't coming to St. Thomas thinking this is going to be a nice 1 or 2 year stopover. Now, we lost Andrew Rohde a year ago in the transfer portal. He started at Virginia last year. Last year, we lost 1 out of 9 guys who could come back. So we've only lost 2 guys in the portal out of 21 possible undergrad returners. And so, you know, best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Our hope is that we're going to retain these guys, and over time, we're going to have a lot of juniors and seniors who are really seasoned and experienced in our culture. Continuity and culture is something we talk about all the time.
Kendall Blue, Drake Dobbs, a couple of guys that have continuity and culture and all of the things that you just said. What have you seen out of them this summer? Have they taken a step forward? I don't know if it's fair to say they're going to be in a bigger role, but they're going to be asked to do more, because I think you lost 3 starters, right?
Yeah, we lost 3 grad student starters too. So it was, you know, last year Parker Bjorklund, Brooks Allen, then Raheem Anthony was a Division III transfer from St. Mary's. He ended up being all conference. We joked last year most people go to the portal and grab D1 guys. We went to the portal and got a Division III guy. Both he and Parker end up all conference. This year we went and got Miles Barnstable out of Whitewater, so another Division III transfer.
He's going to be an all-conference guy too.
No pressure, that, but he's going to be
no
good.
pressure.
Interestingly, and then Rich Byrie, who we recruited when we were Division III back in 2018, he's in his 6th year, transferred from Green Bay. But Kendall and Drake are 2 great examples where, you know, they're both local kids. They grew up 20 minutes from campus. Drake last year, 82 assists, 25 turnovers. I thought he was the best defender in the conference. I mean, literally every game we would talk about who do we put him on, and sometimes it was the point guard, sometimes it was a 6'6" wing. And so Drake just had an incredible season. He's back as a grad student. And then Kendall scored, 11 or 12 a game, but I think Kendall's passing is also probably his best quality. So the 2 of them, we're going to need, you hit it on the head. They don't have to be different players. They don't suddenly have to say, we got to double our scoring. It's really be who you've been, but then help lead all these new guys. Because again, you look around a gym, and when 11 of the 16 haven't played a minute at St. Thomas, there's going to be a learning curve, and some of it's going to have to come in games. It can't all come in practice.
Yeah. How have they kind of acclimated to being the coaches within the locker room, so to speak, right? Like, because so much of success at the college level it's the players-led programs, and a lot of that feels like it's cliche and kind of coach speak, but it matters when you have guys that you can trust that are going to be putting across that same message, that are going to be kind of instilling the same values in the locker room when you guys aren't around. How have they kind of acclimated to that role this season?
Yeah, I think they're doing an outstanding job. I mean, really, those 2 guys, Benny now and Ryan Dufault, are senior guards for us. Carter Bjerke, who's been here and is a redshirt sophomore, 6'9", really prolific shooter. All those guys, I think, understand and have a keen awareness that is a big part of their role this year, is transmitting those values. Now, it's not easy in sports, because when you're a young guy, you are thinking about, how do I play the best I can? How do I earn minutes? And all those guys are, simultaneously thinking about my individualistic goals and development, but also understanding they've got a larger burden on their shoulders to pass on those lessons. And I go back to continuity a lot. Our staff, Mike Maker, Cameron Rundles, Kenny Lowe, Josh Rodenbiker, we've all been together now several years. And I think that's really, really important as well, because it gives you the ability where they don't want to hear my voice all the time. They might not want to hear it any of the time, to be frank.
You got to pace yourself too.
And so having assistant coaches who have the same values, and then having veteran leaders who do, that's when young guys, we've got 5 freshmen and 4 redshirt freshmen. So 9 guys out of the 16 on the roster are freshmen. the way they're going to assimilate into that culture is going to be through their teammates.
I asked Marvin Menzies this question earlier, and I'm curious with you guys because you do have resources at St. Thomas. I mean, obviously with the facility and everything like that, you got some money there. How much is NIL playing a part currently, and how much do you feel like that is a priority moving forward?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you asked Marvin about being picked first in the conference.
I did not. Actually, we did ask him. He gave us a good coach speak answer. I think for credibility of their program, he likes it.
I think NIL, to me, it's one of those things. Transfer portal and NIL happening concurrently, it ends up being so much of what we talk about, which is unfortunate, right? Because the reality is 100%. Out on this court, that's still not the essence of college basketball. And you sometimes hear coaches lament like that has become the focus. I mean, my life in a different world was studying intrinsic motivation, which is what I got my doctorate in psychology. So this is sort of the antithesis of intrinsic motivation. Yet I think most college student athletes are still coming to college because they love it.
Sure.
They now have different opportunities and choices in front of them. And so I think it's certainly something that everybody talks about. We have a collective at St. Thomas now. Yeah. But if somebody's coming to St. Thomas because they want to get rich, they're picking it for the wrong reasons. We talk about your career, the community, what we're going to do on the court. And so it's certainly a piece of it, but it's, a relatively small piece because everybody talks about 4 years for 40, right? It's less about what are you going to make a little quick money now, and are you going to a school that's really going to pay dividends for you forever and ever.
How much have you asked Parker to donate to the collective?
Parker's overseas playing right now. He and Raheem are both playing professionally. He'll be, I think, a very generous donor. Parker, follow his career. Someday he's going to be a hedge fund or private equity guy, and he'll probably let you, Jeff Van Gundy, in at a cheap price. Right?
Hey, I can coach anybody.
I honestly, outside of you both having the name Jeff, I can't. There's no comparison. No comparison at all. One guy's tall, one guy's short, one guy has gray hair, one guy has no hair.
Hey.
That's so funny, man.
What have you challenged Kendall with in the offseason? What does he need to kind of step up, in your opinion?
Yeah, Kendall, probably if Kendall has a flaw, and this is also one of his greatest strengths, I think Kendall is one of the best players offensively who can truly play with anybody. He has games where he has 25 points. He'll have other games where he scores 4 points and has 5 assists and largely unsung, and yet you watch him, he's just very easy to play with because he's a good passer. He knows our offense as well as anyone. He spaces it. He can shoot it. So I think if anything, it's him being more assertive, right? Making that jump. Whereas a freshman and sophomore, it was fine for him a lot of nights to just fit in. They're going to have to be more times this year where he and guys like Drake have to be more assertive, but again, without trying to do things that aren't them. So some of it is him being a little bit more assertive, but some of it is just him being him and modeling that for the younger guys.
All right. I want to ask you about Rich Byrie. We got about a minute left here. Transferred up from, I believe it was Division II,
Rockhurst,
right?
yeah.
Rockhurst. Yep. To Green Bay last season. Now he's making the jump to you guys. What kind of contribution have you seen out of him? How did he acclimate to that Division I level? And now that you got a guy, what is he, 23, 24?
Yeah, he turns 24, yeah.
38. The value of bringing in a transfer that has already had that much experience. It's you're basically bringing in someone that's fully developed as a player, fully developed as a human being, and ready to go out there and kind of just do a job. And I'm assuming get a grad degree.
Yeah, he and Drake are both working on their grad degrees right now. In fact, we don't have practice yesterday. We do today, but we rush back, and they actually have grad classes at 6, so they got out of practice again tonight. Because they both have presentations. But you hit it on the head. Rich is, if you watch us practice, he practices like a veteran. He practices like a pro, where it's just every rep he's trying to do the right thing and try to do his job. Where so often as a young player, you're trying to make a big player, impress the coaches. He's just trying to do the right thing. So he's been, we haven't coached him in games yet, but I've known him for so long, haven't recruited him. And I think he also fits our system really, really well. He's a skilled big who can pass, dribble, and shoot. So he probably plays more like Brooks Allen in terms of being out on the perimeter and just being more of a perimeter player, even though he's 6'8", 230 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, Coach, it's great to see you. Best of luck this season.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to be rooting for you guys.
Great seeing you, John.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, fellas.
You too.
And the Jeff Van Gundy story will go down as one of my favorite moments in the history of college basketball media days. We're going to be joined here by Rich Byrie and Drake Dobbs jumping in right now. Gentlemen, how we doing? Rob Doster.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Drake, good to see you, man. Mics are hot. We are live. Don't say anything too crazy about your coach right now.
Yeah, That's right.
So,
Take it easy on him.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Rich
You want
Byrie.
playing time, right?
Yeah, Rich Byrie, Drake Dobbs. Drake, I want to start with you. Your coaches came on here and said that you're the best defender in the conference. How do you feel about that?
That's awesome to hear that. Means a lot coming from him. So yeah, they give me a lot of tough defensive matchups, but it's things that I'm prepared for and things I want to do on the court. So it's really really great coming from him to hear that. So
All right. So when you shook his hand, did you notice they were a little sweaty? Is that true? Right.
I do have hyperhidrosis. Yes, honestly, they weren't sweating too bad just
I'm
now.
kidding. I'm just.
Yeah, here we go. I got the
I'm just
towel.
giving you crap.
Let me just dry them off real quick. Yeah, I do have hyperhidrosis though, so it does like certain balls on the court. It makes it really difficult to dribble.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of it, right?
Yeah. Like
So
it,
every turnover from now on, we're gonna.
That was my excuse too.
Yeah. That's
I
right.
say it slipped. It slipped.
Yeah, I have hyperhidrosis, coach. Sorry. Rich, how has your adjustment been to St. Thomas? Year 6, you're the old guy. You're the grandfather on this roster now?
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody calls me Unc.
Yeah, there you go. How's the adjustment been?
It's been great so far. I mean, the coaching staff and the guys like Drake, older guys like Drake have been so welcoming, and it's been really easy to acclimate to the program and the culture of everybody so far. And it's been a really smooth transition.
So, coach said that you guys are getting out of practice tonight because you have grad school classes.
Yes, sir.
How often are you telling him you have grad school classes at night? How often do they line up a practice? Is that just a coincidence, or?
Honestly, it's a pretty rare coincidence. It doesn't happen too much. It'd be nice if it happened a little more.
Yeah, we only have class once or twice a week, and it's from 6 to 9 at night. So sometimes it does comes aligned with practice, but most of the time we're there for practice.
Life as a grad student doesn't sound that bad.
No.
What are 2 classes a week?
What's the biggest difference in the team this season without Parker?
Biggest difference without Parker. Well, part of it is we have 8 new faces on the team, so that's crazy. A lot of chemistry we've had to build, but I'd say the biggest thing is Rich can score in the post, of course, but we don't really have a traditional post player. I'd say Parker could really get a bucket anytime on the post. So that's probably the biggest difference, but we've adjusted well. Even without him, I think we have a really great chance of being really good this year again.
Yes, I believe you have two starters back. You have a couple of the rotation guys back, and then I think it was 3 redshirts. So how have you kind of adapted to, we just asked your coaches, adapted to being more almost like a leadership role, right? Especially you, because you've been in this program. You are the guy that's the continuity. You are the piece coming back. You are the player that, as you're putting in new stuff in practice, you know the sets that can run. You know the terminology. How have you kind of embraced that role?
Yeah, no, I've embraced it head on for sure. There's a lot of new faces, so I know that me being a vet, I have to really use my voice and not just lead by example, but telling guys what to do. Showing them the plays, showing them where to be on defense at certain times. So I've really embraced that. It's something I'm comfortable with, using my voice. So yeah, I've had a great time doing it for sure.
And for you, how difficult has the transition been? I mean, look, you're year 6, right? You've been around college basketball for 5 seasons. You've been through different coaching staffs. You've been through different systems. You've made that transition from Division II to Division I. Is this just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go, I'm picking this up quickly? Has there been an adjustment level at a new program?
Just like anything, there are certain challenges that come with changes. But like I said, the coaching staff and the team have been great so far as accepting me. And I think everyone's just been it's been a great situation so far. I mean, I've had a relationship with Coach Towers since I was in high school, so that really helped a lot as far as just continuity with him and the staff as well. So it's just been a really good transition so far.
He's a really good piano player.
Oh, yeah?
You know that?
I'm all right.
I hear you're really good. You're downplaying this a lot, okay? The other thing Rich is supposedly really good at, he knows where every NBA player went to college.
Yeah, that's not – I'm better than you at that, I bet.
I'm gonna throw out
let's do it.
Let me throw out a couple and let's see. All right, we'll let him go first.
Okay, yeah,
All right,
go
so
ahead.
you stay quiet.
I'll get the ones – I'll clean up all your messes.
All right, we'll start with the tough one here. Neemias Queta.
Neemias Queta, Celtics,
Yep.
Utah State.
Good job.
What?
Mhm.
Look at that. That was pretty good. George Niang.
Iowa State.
He's
It's a
pretty
minivan.
good.
George Niang, that's how you're determining how good he was?
Well, I mean, he's older too,
Yeah.
but he probably played when George Niang played.
they were in the same recruiting class.
That's right. We'll go with I don't know. Throw out one too. I'm trying to think of other guys, other like obscure guys.
I thought you had a list.
I don't
prepared.
have a list. I have no list. I'm just going off the top of my head. Go ahead, throw one out at him.
It's a lot harder. It's hard
to think on the spot.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
Michael
to
Porter Jr.
Missouri.
I'm trying to think of some like bench guys that are down the end of the bench.
All right, let's keep it moving while you think, because this segment was a lot better in your head than it was in practice. Google some names, come up with something good while we're doing this. How was that adjustment from Division II to Division I when you're stepping up that level? Was it harder than you expected, easier than you expected?
I'd say it's about as what I expected. Back home, I'm from the Milwaukee area, so I played in my summers. I played against some really legit high-level players, so that helped a lot. But as far as just the overall, for D2, you're home for the summer, so that transition was unique, being at school all summer and just classes and basketball 2-a-days. So that transition was unique. But I would just say overall, as far as skill set, I think the D2 game has slept down a little bit. There's a lot of really high-skilled guys in D2. So I think overall, it's been about what I expected.
Yeah. Were you with the program when they were Division III?
No, I was not. I transferred my sophomore year, their first D1 season, about halfway through the season. So
how? Because that's the thing that really stood out to me about St. Thomas, especially last year, right? It wasn't just that they went from a different level of it. Like D3 to D1 is, I think, a bigger jump than a lot of people realize. And you win 13 games, win 19 games the next season, you win 20 games in it. Like it hasn't slowed down. Like why has St. Thomas been able to come into the Division I ranks and immediately start winning?
It's just, it's really what JT and the coaching staff, it's just their principles and our culture. We play fast, we play really free. A lot of previous schools and other schools, you can't really play as free as you want. You're held back by, certain things on the court. But JT just says play to your strengths, and so it's really just it's his culture and the way he runs the program is why we've been so successful.
I think Jeff's ready.
No, I'm not ready. I want one more question. Don't give me the coach speak. Give me one guy of the new guys who has blown you away so far. Each one of you. One, you got to pick one. I know that I'm putting you on the spot here. Give me one.
For me, I'd say Miles Barnstable. He's coming from Whitewater, a successful Division III program, but just seeing his athleticism, skill set, versatility, he's really shown a lot. He's been really impressive for me.
Yeah, he's legit. I would say Nolan Minisale, the freshman. I knew all the freshmen were really talented coming in, but he's been great. It's been pretty seamless for him in practice. He's been getting buckets. It's been
scouting report on him.
Yeah. Scouting report. Really athletic.
Okay.
Can bring the ball up the court if needed. Solid shooter. Great on defense, and then he's just always in the right spot on offense. He's got a knack for the ball and being in the right spot. He just gets a lot of easy buckets as well.
Haywood Highsmith.
He was a D2 guy.
You should know.
That's crazy.
That's not easy.
I think it was in Colorado. No? Shoot.
Ooh.
I don't know. What is it?
Wheeling. He played for Deshaun Butler when Deshaun Butler was an assistant.
Really?
That's how we know that. Yeah.
Mike Bruzewitz.
Wisconsin. True story. I saw him once at a Target in DC.
Really?
And yeah, it was like 2 years ago, and he still had the hair. That was going
I'll give
crazy.
you a tough one to end it. Terry Taylor.
That's
a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Really tough. And I'm looking at it, so it's unfair. I know where he went, but
honestly, I don't know.
Austin P.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I do have a T-shirt that says "Let's Go P" on it. They have the best slogan. They have the best slogan. We really we
got him.
Yeah, we got
stumped him.
We stumped him. We stumped him.
We'll have round two later. Later this year, we'll bring
Duncan
you out
Robinson. I
to the
want both of them. Duncan Robinson.
Williams and Michigan.
There you go. Yeah. If you didn't get, maybe you got Williams and you didn't get Michigan.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Makes would have been pissed.
Yeah. Listen, guys, we appreciate the time. All right.
Let me just dry this off real quick.
Grab the towel before you
show the camera.
I like it.
Just wipe it
Right
off
here.
the
Come on.
towel. Rich,
Awesome. Thank
great
you.
seeing you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you,
Best
guys.
of luck this
Have a
season.
good year.
All right.
Good luck. Nice meeting you back.
We are going to be joined by Commissioner Fenton here. I believe in just a minute. Do we see him around? Yeah, he's over there talking to Coach Tower there.
Good. I'm gonna get a little of the
I-
coffee.
Yep.
Scooters.
I am proud to say that I am still the reigning champion for being able to name where players went to college
Were you that good?
on Field of 68.
Orlando Robinson.
Fresno State.
Good one. All right.
I bet I
you're
could get 98% of
You
them.
probably could. You probably
98%.
could. I wonder how Commissioner Fenton could do.
We are.
Your daughter does a great job. in the
Oh,
basketball
thank
space.
you so
So,
much.
yeah,
That made my day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
That
does.
made my
So
day.
I just wanted to say that. So
She's
sorry.
a whole lot better.
Dosha
than you.
Woods.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Johnny, I got Johnny Tower's schedule here, guys. Like,
Did
do
you get
think
his
he needs
schedule
it?
signed?
There you go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's what I think.
A little
we should,
autograph
That's
on
what I think
that?
we should go and do.
That's
Get that
It's worth a
signed.
lot of
That's
money.
right. That's right.
Mhm. How we doing, man? It's
We're
good to
doing
see you.
excellent. First off, thank you guys for being here.
No, thank you for
So,
having us.
I believe last year, Jeff, like this was kind of a concept that you had in regards to media days. You connected with Ryan on our team. I feel like we were one of the first. I'm not
Were.
saying we were first, but
No,
we
it
were
was-
one
it
of the
was you and
first.
the CAA.
Yeah,
The two
that's right.
first
That's
ones
right.
that we actually
I think
talked
this
about
was the
doing
first one that we did, right?
in person.
Yeah, first one.
In
we did.
person.
We did, period.
Yeah.
First one we did.
Yeah.
Period.
So you guys
Well,
brought something to us, and now everybody wants to have you at media day. I just hope the Summit League doesn't get squeezed out
No,
one
no,
time at
No, it
media
will
day.
not.
No.
Although I will say,
I know we got to
this
work
is-
around your
this
schedule.
is the most difficult place to get to of all of them.
It's not that bad.
No, listen, I'm in Charleston now. There aren't a lot of direct flights
Oh,
from Charleston.
that's
to
not
Sioux
that's
Falls.
not an easy place to get to
No,
either.
it's not. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. Yeah. So thank
How
you guys for being
feeling?
here.
I mean, obviously, a year ago, you're fairly new to this
Yeah.
job and everything. How much more comfortable are you a year later, or are you in this climate of
yeah.
college athletics? It's hard to be comfortable, isn't it?
I think that's accurate. I think that's really accurate. I mean, it's just very unsettling. You guys read the same things that I read. You know, we were at commissioner meetings a couple weeks ago. You guys will appreciate this. All the reporters are there, of course, right? Trying to break news and whatnot. They're not there for the Summit League, but Ross was there, and a few of us said to Ross, "Hey, Ross, do you know where we get our information? From people like you." So if you think that we know more than sometimes what you guys, that is inaccurate. And sometimes the commissioners are the last people to know.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, if you guys knew me a little better, like I'm a person that trusts people at face value. What your word means something to me, and what you tell me, I'm going to believe that. But I also understand that you could call me today and tell me one thing, and call me tomorrow and tell me something different. And that is the unsettling part of the role, but it is what it is. We think we've got a great conference. We think we're building something special here. We've got institutions committed, and we think we're going to be attractive. Yeah, and they fit. And I think we're going to be attractive not only to the schools that are here, but also potentially others in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's the thing I like about it, and just speaking strictly from a basketball standpoint, is that there are a lot of programs within the league that already have kind of that built-in rivalry aspect, right? South Dakota and South Dakota State, North Dakota State. I'm pretty sure South Dakota State and North Dakota State don't like each other either.
They don't.
Right? It's just there's something. Do any of the Dakotas get along?
No.
Nope.
No.
See, there you go. That's what. That's
No.
what makes it
Our
fun.
league meetings.
Oh, they're fine. We're collegial.
No, but so you got some of those built-in rivalries. There's the local aspect to it, and they all kind of play a style of basketball that is enjoyable to watch. Like
Yeah.
I was telling him earlier, like the Summit League feels like the only league in basketball right now where it's like, yeah, you know what, we're just going to try to win every game 95-90, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But sign me up for that.
I mean, how can you not like that, right? I mean,
especially when he played and he never played any defense.
Defense is overrated. These shots aren't going to shoot themselves. Jeff.
You guys know. I mean, we are in the entertainment business. First off, I want our student athletes to have good experiences. So style of play matters to them. But when people walk into the venue and they see that style, I think that's appealing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And your point about rivalries, everybody goes to Dakota rivalry with other Dakota. Yeah, that's obvious. But I mean, you got Oral Roberts in Kansas City.
Mhm.
You got St. Thomas that's building and starting to create a little bit of local rivalry. I think Omaha is on their way up.
Kansas City, look at
Heck, an
what
Oral
Marvin's done here.
exactly an Oral Roberts South Dakota State kind of rivalry. That's kind of been built up over time. So we have rivalries across the league. We got great coaches, you guys. You know this better than me in a lot of ways. We got great coaches. We got smart basketball minds, both on the men's and women's side. And we think we got a lot to sell for sure.
With realignment, you see what just happened to Mountain West. Like, for me, it's sad. It's sad to watch all this, and I'm sure it is for you too. But, how much do you worry about the future of the league? Is that something that you're always on? And again, like you said, you're trusting, but you also got to be concerned that all of your institutions are approachable, right? I mean, they're good schools. A lot of them are in big cities, big markets. How much are you concerned with the stability of not only your league, but like every league right now?
Worry or concerned is probably too strong of words. Aware is probably a better word. I'm spending 75% of my time on just call it membership health and stability. At the end of the day, and I think our schools know this because we talk about it a lot, the grass isn't always going to be greener on the other side. And whatever other situation you think may be better than what you currently have, let's take a look at what we currently have. You guys, we've got institutions that are similar, state flagships. We got strong branch public campuses, Kansas City, Omaha, and then we got 3 strong privates. There's a lot of institutions across this country that are struggling financially. And don't get me wrong, our institutions have their own challenges. But I'm bullish on this because of the institutional strength behind who they are and them connected to one another. And I think after they take a step back, and we talk about it a lot, they understand and they realize it. Here's the one thing I can't control: the role that football plays in realignment decisions. I can't control that. Other people can't control that. And football, understandably so, for our schools plus others, is a big and important thing on a lot of campuses. The challenge that we have, and you said it's sad, and this is where I would go there, is that the decisions surrounding most likely football, although I get and understand, are causing other things to have to come along for the ride that maybe don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I said to a few of the Pac-12 presidents, hey, you could put your football programs in whatever national structure of football, the top national structure of football, and compete all the rest of your sports along the West Coast, I think they sign up for that every day of the week. Every day of the week.
You're right.
But our schools, other schools, have to be very aware and mindful about how conferences could change a lot because of decisions that are being made surrounding football. But I also understand why those decisions are being made around football because of the importance of football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. How do you kind of handle from the top down, working with some of the schools when it comes to the transfer portal, when it comes to developing NIL, when it comes to some of the stuff that is over the course of the last 3 years become the most important part of developing basketball programs?
I think a couple of things. I think number one, understanding what's going on in the recruiting environment. We had a meeting with coaches yesterday, men and women separately. And one of the things we just kind of talked about is help us understand what's going on in the recruiting environment, in particular related to the transfer portal. I think if we sat here 2 years ago and talked about, okay, the transfer portal's here, it's coming, we would maybe have discussions about it's not fair that the kid comes for 1 year and then goes somewhere else for another year. 2 years later, we are more accepting of that because we have to be more accepting of it. And so what I'm talking to our coaches about is selling the experience on their campuses, selling the experience in what I think is a great league for the kid to say, hey, that's the right spot for me today. If the player comes onto the campus, develops as a basketball player, and then all of a sudden a high major calls with NIL opportunities and whatnot, good for you. Go. I mean, that is a little bit what it is. But those are the things that we're talking about. How can we as a league influence when you go into the recruiting environment? Hey, come to XYZ school because it's going to be a great experience because of A, B, and C. And oh, by the way, here's the great competition in the league. Here's the conference tournament. Here's the experience that you're going to have being a part of this league. And so that's what we talk to them about and try to help them with.
Hey, you're going to be proud of me as a hockey guy. Guess where I'm going this week?
Where are you going?
Little Devils Canes action.
Nice.
Raleigh. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Opening night is, what are we, Tuesday? Is opening night tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
That'll be the second game of the year. So gonna drive over, catch it, and then got to get some hockey when I can here.
These winter seasons sneak up on us quickly when we get to October, basketball, hockey, whatnot. So it's good to be here. It's fun though. So yeah,
we love being here. Again, listen, we're here every year.
Yeah.
So you just let us know and we're in.
And the other thing I appreciate you guys, we're not connected, but you guys coming back to kind of kick the college basketball season off on kind of the mid-major side of things with the Field of 68 event over at the Pentagon.
The Field of 68 opening day showcase, November 4th. First game going to be 11 o'clock local time. You should go by.
See that?
Come over
Yeah.
See you out here for that?
Oh, I'll be around. Yeah, I'll be around. Our offices are literally maybe a driver and a pitching wedge away.
So you gotta give us some good,
not his driver.
Oh,
not
okay.
His driver.
Driver and three wood.
Yeah, it's a good dinner spot for November 3rd. All right, we're gonna need a good spot.
What type of food? Steak.
Probably anything.
Steak.
Yeah, steak. Yeah, a good
steak.
Good fillet will be.
We're not coming to South Dakota to get sushi.
Good point. Good point.
Hey,
good point. I got a few spots for you.
Chislick, is it good?
It's good.
It is.
I'm not. I don't eat it a whole lot, but it's good. Yeah.
Will
Croft
Wade said during their game, South Dakota State, our last game at South Dakota State, McNeese State.
Yeah.
So Will Wade has said I can bring him a plate of
Chislick.
during
Yeah.
a timeout, and he will eat it.
Yeah.
Right, perfect.
I mean, you guys know what it is. It's deep fried like beef tips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know.
I mean, that's healthy beyond healthy,
you're being
right?
summoned by our sign guy over there, who is.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm
Listen,
done.
it's
Thanks,
great
guys.
seeing you,
Yeah, good seeing
Commissioner.
you. Appreciate being
Always a
here.
pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
you for having us here, man.
Take care.
And we will be joined next by, I believe it's Dave Richmond and the North Dakota State Bison.
It is.
The Bison. Okay, make sure you pronounce that
Here it
right.
comes.
Get your practicing. The Bison.
The Bison.
Yeah.
All right, the Bison. Didn't we see some Bison in Kansas State
Yes,
last
we
week?
did.
Right? What's up,
We
Dave?
did. Dave,
How
what's
are
going
you?
on, man?
What's going
We are live.
Good.
Mics are hot. We're good to go.
How are you?
You got your Scooters coffee. We got our Scooters coffee.
And
And,
Scooters Coffee, the spot.
I'm in season mode, so I appreciate the live comment.
Just
So
in
the
case.
four letter words don't just go
Last year, we
flying.
know. Last year you were kind of electric. You were the
Is that like I got a
it's good.
reputation precedes itself, and I got to live up to that again?
yes.
That will help.
Yes. It will
Oh,
help. It will
jeez.
help.
How how's it been this year? I mean, in terms of obviously the changing landscape, everybody's got new guys,
Yeah.
right? Everybody. It's not like the old days where you kind of knew you had 7 of your top 8 coming back. You have to readjust, don't you?
Look at the last 2 years for us, and that's a great example of what you're talking about, Jeff. Not good enough, right? And I think you become stubborn to a fault in some good ways, right? Upper Midwest high school kids had just thrived, and we've been able to develop them and do those things. And I want them loud and clear on a national scale. That's still going to be where we butter our bread, right? We want to develop those kids internally. However, what I've reflected on and what's been smacked in my face is when you lose somebody in the spring with mileage, experience, maturity, it's really hard to go grab a freshman that's got that same mileage experience, right? And this year, and I want this to be loud and clear, the portal was great to North Dakota State. The 5 guys that we've got, we're really excited about them. They're going to be able to impact us on the floor. They're impacting us like a Luke Kasuki from Illinois State. He's impacting us already off the floor, who he is from a leadership standpoint in the locker room. And you know what? I've been at North Dakota State for a while, 11th year as a head coach. It's been good for me. It provides something new. It's a different challenge. It makes me uncomfortable. I enjoy being uncomfortable. That's how you grow. And we're growing, we're learning. But it's fun.
You fought it early, and now you're okay with it.
Amen.
Right?
I sat.
It's a lot of guys, though, that have been
Absolutely, Jeff. I sat with our strength coach one day, and he basically threw me in the corner, and he said, "Hey, you know what the final stage of a grievance is? It's acceptance." And you know what? And we're here. We are. Let's accept this. Let's embrace it. It is what it is. I know this. Like a Sunday here in March, there's going to be a Summer League champion. right? And so hard, whatever. Let's embrace the hard. Let's figure this damn thing out, right? And be where we need to be. And I think we have a better trajectory to do those things.
Yeah, you do have some guys coming back, Damari and Jakari specifically in the backcourt. The value of having the experience with the guys that are going to have the ball in their hands, like I feel like that does matter. You know, if you could probably pick, hey, we're going to get 2 guys back, kind of want those guards, right?
Yeah, but again, what does that experience look like? Where does it come from? I don't think I can get too confused if we have to bring that in, right? If it can be retained from your program, however it is. When you go back and you look at our success, 7 of 10 years we've been in the championship game, 3 years we've won it. There's 2 common denominators. We've been old and we've had a very good point guard. Okay. And those things are, we're older now. Damari's still working through some health things, but you're going to see him in his junior year. Brendan Watkins from VMI has been a terrific addition. We're starting to create some competition in that point guard room a little bit. And when you've got a combination of those 2 things, hopefully, we have figured some of those things out, and that can put us where we need to be.
You mentioned Damari's health. What can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so, I mean, just going in, before he ever played a game at North Dakota State, a really traumatic, has a rod in his lower leg, and he battled that. And I think what Damari's starting to figure out is that leg is never – you're a Division I player, and you've been through a traumatic surgery like that. It's never going to be 100%. We put him on the shelf for a while and just trying to regain some of those things, and he's now starting to round back into practice, and now it's more just practice shape and those things. But we need to get him out there. We need to get him out there. So we're doing some new things offensively and defensively, and he needs to get comfortable in those things.
Is the hope that he'll be ready for the season
hope
opener?
Is there, yeah, but I don't have any conviction, right now that's where we'll be. He's working towards those things. We want those things, but we can't force those things either, and it's part of the process. And I don't expect them to be at 100% November 4th in our first game. But again, we're sitting here in the place at a 1-bid league. Can we get him and us playing our best late February, March? Yeah, absolutely.
Noah Feddersen, you said, quote, he can be one of the better players in the league. Coming back as a sophomore, 6'10". We're going to hear from him here just a little bit. But where have you kind of seen that development over the summer and into the fall?
I still think you're learning your kids along the way. And we sat after the season, and he was a freshman, albeit a redshirt freshman, but he still talked about the grind of the season and how, just maybe a little bit towards the end of the year, he faded a little bit. So now we're gaining the experience again a little bit. So he has a better understanding of what that is. And then I'm hoping, right, I'm anticipating and really encouraged here, but like a Rocky Cruiser for us type format. It took Rocky about a year and a half for Rocky to see what we saw. And Noah needs to continue to work on shifting that mindset. Noah's a dude, right? But he has to have that mentality every day in practice, putting eyes on the rim. He's really figured out the offensive glass piece. He's an elite defender for his size. The versatility that he brings defensively, it's just shifting that mindset a little bit into being a dude, a dog every day on the offensive side.
How do you bring that out? I hear that a lot from coaches where it's like, we think he's better than he thinks he is right now. Like, how do you – outside of just having them actually do some of the stuff they can do and figure out, hey, you know what, I'm actually capable of this. How can you help instill that confidence? Because I do think like 90% of that is having the confidence in their ability.
So part of it is on him, right? The experience. But here goes the smile piece, and here goes those 4-letter words, right? Like, I love these guys. I love them. But a big part of that love is tough love for those 2 hours that we're together. And so my voice, no one knows it. I've challenged him that way. That turnover bike, when you don't shoot that shot, like that turnover bike has you don't want to go there, right? Your tail starts hurting and you're not out there and all those things. And it's just a reminder. You listen to Coach Self talk about some of his guys, and they'll be on the treadmill or whatever, and helping them understand. Sam Griesel was the same way, and Sam went on to be a star. Like I could see the version that we got for Sam the last year and a half and how aggressive he was, an all-league type player, and what he ended up doing at Nebraska and all those things. You can see that for a while. It's just getting them to understand that and doing it consistently. And a little kick in the tail once in a while doesn't hurt.
You know who I bet loves you? Brennan, coming over from VMI. I mean, think about it.
I could be the biggest you-know-what in the world, and he would
you.
Some of the stories that go on at VMI.
Have you seen the bed that he slept on? They like roll up like a – it's not.
I don't think there's anything that we could do to Brennan that he's not prepared for. Our culture hopefully exemplifies tough and together. I mean, VMI, like you, I mean, it's not quite a service institution but like, salute our service people and what they do and those people that are out fighting for us, man. That's a different deal. I know that. Well, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I wouldn't survive there.
He lasts, honestly, maybe an hour.
No, I think I could get a solid 10 to 11 days.
Wow, no,
I can get 10 to 11 days if
you
you
are not
mind.
tough enough to get 10 or
10 to 11 days.
Way to be humble. Way to be humble.
I can handle 10 to 11 days. I might be, but if you told me,
you fight it out.
Whatever the date is that you said I could.
Let's set an over and under here, right here. Let's maybe let's
send him.
What do you think?
Let's do a field of 68 at VMI campus.
Give me the line. What's the line?
I'm so in.
What's the line?
Honestly, I'm like
set it, Jeff.
Andrew Wilson, whatever
what's,
it takes.
What's the line? How many days do you think I could last?
I mean, 4.
I would
give it
5.
4 days.
4 as soon as
4.5. So 4.5.
1 second after 96 hours. 96 hours and 1 second, I'm gone. But all I got to do is prove him wrong. I do want to ask you this because you guys have had some transfers that have spent 3 years with you guys and then headed on to the high major ranks. Is there any thought where you're like, let's become the school where we go out and get these kids that get overlooked and develop them for 2 or 3 years and have that be part of our pitch? Like, look, we were arguing about this earlier. There are schools like Kansas that will recruit players and say, we're bringing you in for 2 years to get you ready for the NBA. Is there any part of the way that you're building your program where you're saying, give us 2 or 3 years and we will get you ready to go to the high major ranks? Do you lean into that at all?
I'm probably going to surprise you because I think you know where you think I'm going, and you are building teams. It's harder and harder to build a program, right? And if we have an opportunity to bring somebody in that's going to help our team for that year, we're going to do that, and whatever that looks like. And we talk to everybody about every year we're going to evaluate in the spring what your happiness is. If your happiness is back with us, great. If your happiness is somewhere else, then go. Because they're in my mind, in my experiences, you're even seeing this with COVID kids that have had an extra year they're done. And if you don't have somebody in your program that's not happy, it's the worst. It really is. No matter what kind of character they are, no matter what kind of person they are, great people, but they've been through it. They've done it. And I want to be around people that are happy. Happy is fun. Fun is success for Bison basketball. And so have we had some of those conversations? Absolutely. I mean, every year we're going to evaluate. Now, can I believe I'm saying that today on whatever 2024? I can't. I remember how many years ago there's an SI article about the school out east that was talking about they're advertising it like a junior college. And what is he talking about? This is crazy. At some point, gentlemen, if I don't embrace those things and we, look at our league.
This is amazing.
It's crazy.
The adaptable David Richmond.
I know.
He's new.
I've even had a recruit's mom say that you have a different conversation today than you did when you first started recruiting us.
Right. It's changed that.
Yeah, but I better adapt too. Like the last 2 years to our standards, they're not good enough. Right. And so
that'll make you have to change.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. You could stick to what you're doing. And you know what? You don't want to be in the same place.
Ask me the question if I would go back to how we had it in the past. Absolutely, 100% I would.
Most of us would.
Right?
And again, I think we all agree. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I agree.
There's some NIL. That's players.
Yep.
But, a lot of the
I
other
also
things,
do think some of this is going to – once you get past having all the kids with the 5th year, right? I think that, and once you get to revenue, I think that some of this is going to level out a little bit, and it's not going to be as insane every single spring. I think you're never going to put that genie back in the bottle, right? But I think that there's going to be a level of normalcy.
I hope, like yesterday when the settlement got some more approval, I want to agree more with you, Rob, than where Jeff. Like we need.
Generally speaking, that's a good idea. If you
100%, absolutely.
I'm just a skeptic. I'm a skeptic,
and I understand that. I do.
Because
but we need guardrails. We need guardrails
put in place. What are coaches going to try to do?
There's a reason the men's basketball rule book is like this, right? Like we're going to work the gray area. Right. I understand that, but we need guardrails. We need NIL, loud and clear. In the transfer portal, we need that. It is what it is. We're not going to fight that, but we need guardrails and parameters to have, like, I call them Monday mornings. It feels like every Monday morning I wake up and there's a new rule. Someone's going to a new league. There's something new. Like, you need to just
stability.
some kind of stability.
Tell them your transfer fees idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody comes and plucks one of your guys. They're going to pay you 25, 50 grand, whatever it is.
I'm in. My administrators are sitting right here. They're
No, like it's
clapping up and down. Yeah.
How hard is this to figure?
Yeah.
I mean, this should be a given to make it a little more.
We're becoming more and more of a business. It's transactional, all those things. So there has to be some
How about 2-year contracts that you could sign?
That'd be good.
With buyouts and everything.
I love it, but now you're putting a limit on somebody. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Get sued, Robert.
You know who can put a limit on you? Our man with the sign over there.
That's
he
right,
just held up
that's
the
right.
sign
He
that said
said
done.
Done.
So you've
Done.
reached your limit on the field of 68.
No, I'm
You know
gonna
what they say?
hold on to this mic. You know,
doesn't
I want
care.
someone's gonna peel me off this thing. I get to be
fight.
on stage with Field of Six. I mean, come on.
No, this
great.
has been fun. You
Thanks,
know how
gentlemen.
we love
The
seeing
highlight
you.
of your week, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Great
It's
seeing
great seeing you.
Thank you.
We have
Always.
we have Noah Federson and Jakari White coming up here. Next, we're going to be able to hang out with them here for a little
After
bit.
that, I'm going to need a bathroom break. I'm telling you right now. The coffee, the scooters.
I don't want to know.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't want to know. I don't want to
should've
know.
Gotten a small.
I don't want to know. I don't need the answer to those questions. So we got Noah and Jakari making their way over here right now, and they're going to jump on here with us. We're gonna ask them if they've ever seen Dave Richmond as engaged as he is on the field of 68 stage. Noah, what's going on, man? Rob
How you
Doster.
doing, Jeff Goodman?
We are live. Those mics are hot, so if you want to talk bad about your coach, do it under your breath. Jakari, good to see you,
All right,
man.
what's up, man?
Noah Federson, Jakari White. And Noah, since you're sitting down first, I'm going to go to you first. Coach kind of said, and I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, that right now he doesn't think you realize you are as good as you are, right? No, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He said.
So
need
how
a
do
little
you-
more-
how
little
do you-
more swagger?
Yeah. How do you get, like he said, that, I'm putting words in his mouth, but basically, like he said, we need the confidence and we need Noah to realize that he is a dude. How do you do that?
I think, I get that confidence from practice, starting to do the things, have a bigger role in practice, be more aggressive, going to the hoop, taking shots on offense. And then with that, doing that every day in practice, it'll just come naturally in games.
Yeah. Do you know how good he is?
Oh, yeah.
Does he know how good he is?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do you try to tell him too? Are you pushing him as well? I know, obviously you guys are both kind of be cornerstones of this program this year.
Well, yeah. I should do it more. I think he hears it from Coach enough.
Yeah,
But,
he doesn't need it from you too.
yeah.
What types of things is Coach saying to you, like in those conversations?
Yeah, a lot of it's like, this team's a lot different from last year. Last year I was a freshman, kind of getting used to things, getting used to college basketball. And now, I've been around and he expects me to be a guy, like you said, be a dude. And so I need to constantly and consistently be aggressive and be someone that we can rely on throughout the season.
Yeah, in 2024, redshirt sophomores are the old guys on college basketball
Pretty
teams.
much.
Yeah.
Third year in the program. I mean,
Yeah.
it's true. You don't see that a ton anymore.
Jakar, you're stepping into a bigger role this season. What have you kind of done in the offseason to kind of to work on that a little bit and bring more out of your game?
I've been, working hard with one of my trainers back home. We've been working a lot this summer. Just, working on my range, finishing inside, and just, do more creating on the dribble and things like that, and working on defense as well. So you pretty much hit all areas of my game that I needed to work on.
What about the leadership aspect? Like, are you trying to be more vocal in locker room, more vocal in practice?
Yeah, I'm still, working my way and like learning, because, the team looks up to me, and I know, like, in certain areas, like I have to be a guy that can rely on. And so, like, that means I have to be, in check, and I need my teammates as much as they need me. So it's a two-way street in that one. And, as I learn and get better over the course of the season, it'll be I'll be probably the best it's going to be. So
I don't know too many guys that are in the all-defensive team that shoot 46% from three. Which do you take more pride in? Which sounds better to you?
I like playing defense.
Yeah.
Like, like I say, in drills and practice, like I want to be on defense first and things like that. So, like, just more areas to work on in my game and be better. So.
But you like that 46 from 3, don't you?
That was what happened is he knows he's got a microphone on the camera right there. If we were sitting over there just talking, like, yeah, man, I shoot it. That's what I am. I'm a shooter. You're from Orlando, right?
Yes.
Do you just like the cold weather? You just wanted to buy a new parka?
Well, I wanted to be somewhere new so I can grow as a person, as a player too as well, and just being away from home. And I know I wanted to be away from home, going to school and things like that. So I just chose the farthest place I could have chosen. But I really like this so far. So
I want this. I want both of you guys to answer this. Noah, I want you to give me the scouting report on Jakari's game, and then Jacari, I want your scouting report on Noah on his game and what he is as a player.
I'll say Jacari, on him on defense, you got to be ready for his intensity. He's going to pick up full court, guard you the whole time. He's getting through screens, all of that stuff. So you got to be ready for his intensity. And then offense, I think you just got to try to stay in front. He's really quick. He's really explosive. And like you said, 46%, he can shoot it. So you got to get up there. But he's also going to blow by you and get to the rim. Like he said, he's been a lot better finishing. And also, he didn't say it, but he's been a lot better of a playmaker just this summer and spring or fall. I've seen him improve in that area. So he's going to be really tough to guard.
With Noah, defensively, he's going to be flying at the rim. Nothing hard. Nothing easy. On offense, he can shoot. He's a good finisher, great finisher. He's been got a lot better at finishing. He can also shoot the ball pretty well, so you can't sag off him too hard. He's a very he's an anchor in our defense as well. So he's gonna be talking, yelling on screens, communicating. And so he's a guy you got to watch out for sure.
Noah, how good were you as a tight end in football?
I like to say pretty good.
Yeah.
I like to say if I wanted to, I maybe could have gone down that route and played football.
Little George Kittle.
Yeah, little Travis Kelce maybe, just a little taller, a little bigger.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
were you 6'10" when you were playing
high
school football?
Yeah.
You were. So they just throw it up to you?
Yeah, they split me out on the goal line.
Really?
I think I had a lot of 2-point conversions. We didn't kick it much, just split it out, throw it up. Yeah.
Go get it.
Yeah.
No, I also played point guard in high school, so
is that true at 6'10"?
Yeah, my senior year, our point guard broke his hand. He was out for half the season, so I was the next best ball handler. So I had to bring the ball.
Legitimately?
I was bringing the ball up the court.
Wow. So you asking Coach Richmond to I can play a little point here?
He likes to joke at us sometimes, yeah. But hopefully they don't need me to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Get in the post.
Yeah. That's what when Jacari and Damari are not playing well. Is that what Richmond says?
Exactly.
We got our point guard right here. If you guys are keep messing around like this, that's good motivation for you, huh?
Did you have football offers? No.
I had some, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Couple of Division Ones, but then once I started getting recruited for basketball, I kind of let those coaches know. Yeah, kind of let those coaches know I was going to play basketball.
Didn't want to get hit.
Yeah, I didn't mind getting hit, but it is a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Tight end.
Yeah, basketball is just by itself, so I couldn't even imagine football.
North Dakota State's got a pretty good football program. Have any of those coaches come over and been like, "Hey, by the way, man"?
Yeah, I was actually just talking to our coach a couple of days ago when he was at Wyoming. He was at Wyoming actually when I was in high school, and he was recruiting me a little bit then. So it's kind of funny now he's back at NDSU and I'm playing here basketball instead of football.
Jackson, I want to ask you about him because he's another 6'10" guy, can shoot it a little bit, put up big numbers at I think it was Northern State D2, right? How has his acclimation been to this level? If you got two big guys, 6'10", that can shoot it, that's going to create a lot of space for guys like you.
Oh yeah. Jackson, he can also put the ball on the floor. So if they run him off the line, he can dribble, take it in, and he's a pretty good passer. So he's looking for us on the outside and trying to hit us so we can make shots for him.
Yeah, definitely a fun guy to play with and have on your team. Like Jacari said, he really spaces it
together?
out. Oh yeah, I think we're going to do that a lot this year. Probably me more in the low post stuff, but I'll also be out on the perimeter and him, pick and pop. It's really going to make teams. I think they're going to have to switch those screens because if not, our ball handlers are going to get downhill and he'll be waiting at the 3-point line to shoot it in.
So here's my question: Who's labeled the center, and who's labeled the 4? Because I know big guys don't like being called centers anymore. They like being called like stretch 4s, stretch bigs.
Yeah.
So who's the center and who's the power forward?
I think in our offense, he's kind of going to be the center. But like defensive wise, I'll probably be guarding the other team's center. Yeah.
You just navigated that question very well. I see that. He's a pro over here.
Hey, Coach Richmond just said the last couple of years haven't been good enough for the program, right? You guys have picked preseason third. You know, I assume the expectation is obviously to win the Summit League regular season title, win the tournament, get to the NCAA tournament. What's the number one thing that needs to happen to be able to get there, to be able to take that jump and get back where you guys think you belong?
Yeah, I would say we just got to be more consistent. I think last year we lost 5 games in a row, and then after that we won 5 games in a row. And also with consistency, we didn't get better as the year went on. You know, you want to be playing your best in March, and I think we finished the year with 3 losses in a row, so didn't really do that at all. So we got to be more consistent throughout the non-conference, but also the conference play. You know, in this conference, every game matters for the seeding, and it's a 1-bid lead. So, you know, you got to win the conference to make it to the tournament. So I think both of those things are really going to be important for us this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our new guys are really going to help with that because not only are they new, they're really they're older and more experienced, so they've been around and know the expectation and know what it's like. So, you know, that's really helped for them coming along.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, we appreciate you being here. If you want to know what the expectations are at North Dakota State, you guys keep saying you had disappointing seasons, and look, boom, right there, you're predicted third in the league. 3 people think you're going to win the conference. Best of luck this season. Get that confidence, man.
Thank you.
Show everybody you're a dude.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we'll let all the North Dakota State coaches know you're not playing football.
That's right.
Not playing
Don't
football
try
at
it.
all.
Don't try it.
Good seeing you, man. Thank you for everything.
Appreciate it, man.
We have South Dakota coming up next. I believe Eric Peterson will be the first one on stage with us.
I gotta hit the bathroom.
Yeah, we're gonna head to a quick break for about 2 minutes, and we will be back with more from Summit League Media Day here on the Field of 68.
It's like a 6'7" guard.
Welcome back to Summit League Media Day here on the field of 68, and we are now joined by
much better.
South Dakota head coach Eric Peterson. He just had to use the restroom.
No, I saw him at the buffet over there.
Yeah, that's
No,
cleaning
yeah,
up.
he
was
Come on now.
Not yet.
No, I haven't seen him over there.
So we were just talking a little bit off air. It's you have some returnees this year. You have some guys coming back. I think it's the first time, fair to say, that you've really had continuity in your program since you got there. You took an off-season trip to Italy, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you got to be feeling good about where you are because you actually know a little bit.
We're in a good spot. Yeah, definitely. I would say two things: our roster and our schedule. Right. Sometimes when you take over a program, we took over. There was one game on the schedule, right, and it was UC Irvine, top 75 team over the last 5 years, and that's a bad feeling in April, right? So you kind of throw a schedule together. And what does that affect the next 2 years? Not just the next year, it affects the next 2 years. So this is the first time we've had control of our schedule, and obviously our roster is in good shape. You don't get a lot of guys back usually at our level. We have over 60% of our scoring, 50% of our rebounding back. I would say other than UMKC, we have the most back out of any team in our league. So that's always a good feeling, and I thought we did a really good job in the portal, getting the pieces and the deficiencies that we needed to take the next step.
So what were the deficiencies and who kind of
Great question.
Plug those holes?
We were close. Honestly, we lost 5 games by an average of 3 points, right? And 5 games in our league is last place to second place. That's how close it was. We turned the ball over way too much, right? And we had one senior, so we were probably the youngest team in the league last year. It was probably us and UMKC. And so the turnovers really cost us. I would say we didn't force turnovers, right? So when you're turning the ball over a ton and you're not forcing any turnovers, that's a negative. And then we just didn't have a lot of rim protection, right? So we got 2 bigs out of the portal, great rim protectors, and we truly have a point guard. Last year, we had 2 point guards go down with season-ending injuries that were out, and we shifted a kid to the point guard spot that was our foreman at Utah and did a great job. Did a great job for us, but that's tough, right? Going into year 2, and you're like,
impossible.
Yeah, it's like trying to move in a receiver to quarterback 3 games in and saying, let's go. Right. And expecting it to work out great. So we were trending in the right way. We led the conference in scoring in February and March. But it was just the turnovers that really cost us in our youth.
My rule is always you can never have enough point guards in your roster.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you can't win without one.
And they were hard to find last year out of the portal. And we got really lucky with Chase. And I mean, we can talk more about him, but dynamic player, was on the all Southland defensive team. Very, very good point guard. And we needed that.
Yeah. All right. So give me a little about the trip. Most teams do not take trips anymore, right? They're not utilizing that money for a trip. They're utilizing it for NIL. You decided to go to Italy. Was that just a personal decision? You wanted to go to Italy?
Yeah.
And Ben, you know, take the family too?
No. The option wasn't there to utilize it for NIL. Like it came from a different source, and we could have took it in year 1. We could have took it in year 2, and I felt like this was finally the right time to do it. With everything going on in the portal, sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? You put 10, 12 new guys on a team. Like, does it really make sense to take a foreign tour? Well, we had most of our team back, and we're trying to just blend the new guys in with the returners. And I thought it was the perfect time to do it. Obviously, great pizza, great pasta over there. It was a good trip for our guys to spend 12 days together. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of good teams. The tightest, the best chemistry type teams usually win and figure out late in the game. And we didn't do that last year. So
what was the favorite experience on that? And it doesn't, I want something outside of like, we scrimmage this team. And what was the thing that in your mind brought the team together?
That's a great question. If you take out the games, I would say just the history and culture where you just as a coach realize like they might not ever go to Italy ever again and get to see the things that we saw. For me, like personally, it was cool. We went to Cinque Terre. You guys ever heard of Cinque Terre? It's like 5. Oh, yeah. You've been there. They have great pesto, which I love pesto, but it's there's a Disney movie based on that city. So when you're sending pictures back to your kids and they're like, Dad, that's where this movie was filmed. And I didn't know that. Right. So it's kind of cool. So no, I didn't bring my family, but for our guys, I think just the history and seeing some of that stuff, like, man, is a lot different than Vermillion, South Dakota.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, we did Ireland, and I don't remember anything about the games that we played over there, but I do remember the team bonding stuff. And for us, the team bonding was we snuck out of the hotel one night and went to like one of the local clubs. And what we didn't realize was that everybody in that, like some little small town in Northern Ireland, that everybody thought that they were playing like an actual good college basketball team, and it was us, and they were like, "Who are these guys?"
Yeah, I didn't know you wanted me to talk about that. I'm sure that was number one. I knew we were live here, so I wasn't sure if I could say that. But obviously, them spending time away from the coaching staff is the best thing possible, right? And who knows what they did at night, but everybody made it back by curfew, and everyone played the next day. So we're in good shape.
Caleb had a great year last year.
Definitely.
Obviously, he'll be a cornerstone coming back. What have you talked to him about that you want more from him?
Leadership, 100% leadership. And, some kids, they just say, okay, coach, Caleb, he's aware. And he said, coach, I need to know how to be a better leader, not just tell me to be a better leader and it's going to happen. So we've been working a lot on that, on some things that he can talk to our team about when I'm not around or our staff's not around. And that's the separator right there. We have seniors, we have 6 seniors now, and we do have a few very good leaders in that group, but everybody looks at the best scorer or whoever led your team in scoring to say something. And some guys just don't have that personality. And Caleb, when he talks, people listen, and it's gotten better and better every month this summer.
How did you end up with him? He's a Texas kid, right?
Yeah.
How did he end up in
crazy
South
story?
Dakota?
I was at Utah State, and we had a guard named Sam Merrill, who's with the Cavs right now. And we weren't sure what was going to happen with Sam. He went to the Chris Paul camp, and he was a very good player, and he was listed as like a top 3 player there. And so I was just trying to build a database on guys that if he left that we could take that fit us. So we were playing in the Rockets Arena against South Florida. And the night before, I went to Caleb's game. He played at South Houston High School, and I was sicker than a dog. And I shouldn't have gone to the game, but I'm like, I need to see this kid play. And so I still went to the game, and obviously met him, met his dad. His dad was the assistant at the time. And, he went to La Tech, which is great. Conkle was there at the time. So then he played for 2 coaches there. He went in the portal, and I called him, and I would say within 5 days he committed just with our past relationship.
That's a good get. It's that
you went.
That one's worked out pretty well for you guys.
It has, and it's like it was all over the place at La Tech. Some games he played a lot. Some games he didn't play much at all. One game he made 6 threes. Next game he didn't shoot a 3, right? So it's kind of all over the place, but you just got to trust your eyes and your evaluation skills. And I knew he'd be a good player for us, and he's going to be even better this year.
I think what says even more about the relationship than the fact that you were able to get him is that he comes to South Dakota, right? He has a season where he averages 16 a game, and he's a senior, and he's back. Like, I'm sure that there were opportunities, people through the grapevine, through the back channels, however you want to say it.
Anybody who averages 15 plus who's got a year left,
they're probably
right?
I think it speaks a lot about our culture, right? I tell this story all the time. We get done with our season, guys go on spring break, right? And I text our group like, hey, if you want to be in the portal, make sure you come see me before this meeting. There was one guy that came to see me, and he redshirted, and we kind of talked about this before, like, hey, we got to find you a better fit. So I knew that was coming. The rest of those guys were in that room. Right after the last game we lost, Caleb's in the press conference saying, I'm coming back, and we're doing this thing here. I think he's mature enough to know it was a basketball decision. He's like, Coach, I don't want to go to a high major and play 8 minutes a game just to go get money. Like, I'm happy with my experience. I played for 2 other coaches in my career. I love it here. I love my development. People forget Caleb, he's really changed as a player. He's probably more of a shooter just at La Tech. And when we got him last summer, he took 6 shots from 2 the entire summer. And I'm like, Caleb, we have to take the next step and get to the rim, right? So I think he's really developed as a player and seen that, and he wants to be a pro. So how do you fully develop as a pro? By playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting the skill stuff and also playing. So I think that was important to him as well.
By the way, I'm excited to see you, but I have to meet your women's head coach because my daughter has raved about her. My daughter covers women's college basketball, and she's like, you have to meet the South Dakota women's coach.
Carrie, yeah, she's awesome. I worked with Coach Karius last year. Her husband was actually our ops guy at Utah State. Lived in my basement for that 1 year. So I was really close with them. But getting to know Carrie, she's going to do a phenomenal job. She was in a really tough job in Kearney, right? And if you've ever been, that's a tough D2 job, and they won at a high level there. We're able to get Amber Heggie back from Colorado State, who played at South Dakota. So their staff is phenomenal. Really excited to watch our women's basketball program. And my daughter's 12, so I'm fully invested in it too. Volleyball and basketball, for sure.
You got it. You got it. Just have you leaned into the changing landscape? Honestly, we've talked to a lot of coaches about this, and some kind of fight it. Some have been worn down to almost lean into it. What's your approach been?
I'm glad you asked that. So my approach, how we did it at South Dakota the first time and won the league, Utah State, and I was only at Utah for a year. but we were big into getting guys that were going to be around for 3, 4, 5 years. Sam Merrill was there for 4 years. Kata was there for 3 years. We had guys in our program, Justin B, and we knew we were going to get them back. So we could, scouting wise, we could do more, right? And now I'm the exact opposite. We have to keep it really simple. If we lose half our roster every single year, how can we put these complex things in and really scout and like be super detailed with scouting reports? We figured it out. February, March, we were playing really, really well. Best offensive team in the league, like I said. And then the season's over, and what happens? You usually lose half your team. So like we got to start better and then continue to improve throughout the season. So it took me a little bit to step back, Jeff, and be like, man, we got to make some changes to fully do this with the landscape. And so you'll see us this year. We're not going to run a lot of plays. We're going to press more. It's going to be more free flowing. And our scouting stuff is going to be just personnel, like mainly maybe a few actions, but just personnel, and be really heavy into personnel.
So if you want to go out and you don't want to have to learn a playbook and you just want to get some shots up and run around,
it's not
go
quite
to South Dakota.
It's a little bit more structured than that.
We're just going to take a ball, roll it out, and you can go.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more organized than that. I would say think Samford a little bit on how they play, a little more chaotic like that, where guys can we're teaching concepts and reads and how to just make the right play, right? And then if we force a turnover, which we didn't force turnovers. We turned the ball over too much, but we didn't force turnovers. Now we're going to be forcing turnovers, what to do with the ball when you get it, right? And you can't force a turnover and then turn it back over, because what is that? It's a layup at the other end. So we got to – you get all that?
Yeah, no, I got all that. No, here's my question, though. So Sanford calls it buckyball. So what, are you
we can't
ball?
we can't do that yet. We got to execute it first. It's not quite like that. They're elite at some things, like they have different traps and stuff like that. We pressed every dead ball last year. We didn't quite press on makes and misses, and we're going to change some stuff up with that this year. So hey, and my one sell is February 15th, Vermilion. We play South Dakota State. Right. Can we get the Field of 68 or Jeff Goodman in the house for the South Dakota rivalry game?
I don't even know how much I wanted to.
Valentine's Day, the day before. You can do whatever you need to do, Jeff, for Valentine's Day.
Wait, we already have, by the way, we've got, we're opening the season here
at
the Pentagon November 4th. So I'm trying to convince my wife to come out for that. We have 3 games. It's our anniversary.
Oh, that's it.
Just say we're going to come out again for Valentine's
Do you have any good spots? Like if I brought my wife up to Vermilion for Valentine's Day, you got some nice romantic restaurants.
Oh yeah, we can make it happen for sure.
All right, she's watching right now.
We'll have some of our guys there assisting if we need it. Whatever we got to do to get you guys to Vermilion, we'll make it happen. But honestly, the rivalry between South Dakota State, it's an awesome game. If you ever get the chance, your schedule's clear. Let's figure out a way to get you guys to Vermilion.
We're coming, man. Awesome. We're in. Awesome. We're Summit League guys now.
I love it.
Seeing you.
Yeah, you too.
But you have to call it PD ball though. If you win,
okay. We're not.
How about this? If you win the league this year, playing this style, me and Goodman get to come up with the brand name for your. There you go.
Deal.
Yes.
Deal. Let's make it happen.
All right.
Put some NIL component to it. Whatever.
Get it sponsored by somebody.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it.
All right, Coach. It's
Thank
great
you guys.
to see you, man. We have your 2 stars over here. They're getting ready to come over here and boot you off the stage. So.
You probably want to talk to them a little bit more than me, so I get it.
Listen, we love seeing you. You know that.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Go Yotes.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. We have Paul Bruns and Caleb Stewart joining us now. Your gentleman, your coach gave us all the dirt. We are live. The mics are hot, so don't say anything too crazy about him right now.
Hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Everything good?
Paul, Caleb, Caleb, I want to start with you because Coach was kind of raving about your ability to add to your game last summer. He said you came in, I think it was you took 6 shots that weren't 3-pointers the summer before you got here, and you figured out how to be able to get into the lane and maybe make a midi or 2.
Yeah. Last year when I got here, it was definitely a process, just trying to figure out how to score. Like, we played like a gap defense. I just wasn't used to that. It was really, really challenging. Like I was going in and watching film, like doing all types of stuff, just trying to figure out like am I doing something wrong or anything. But as the season started, obviously, and in practice, once you start playing against the same people, you start picking up on tendencies and whatnot. So I think once the season started, it kind of practice was a little bit hard for me. I think that just helped playing against other people, and it's just kind of completely different. So. It wasn't, there's not a scouting report early on in the season. So,
hey, Paul, who was guarding him in practice that had him locked up?
Last year,
That's that. Was it
I
you?
don't remember it. I do guard him a little bit this year, but last year I don't know who it was last year.
So, Coach also told us that, and I'm maybe summarizing a little bit too much here, but that you guys are going to get up and down a little bit more. You're going to run less plays. It's going to be more like let's roll the ball out, let's hoop. Are you guys excited
He
about
didn't
that?
quite say that. Okay? It wasn't let's roll the ball out and this is AAU ball. Okay.
No, yeah, we're super excited about that. It's definitely give us a chance, just to play more people, obviously, because we're going to play faster. We're going to have to play more people, but it just allows more people to have an opportunity to really just get their game out there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be different than last year for sure. It'll be different.
Paul, you're from around here. What's going to be the biggest difference in your game from last year to this year?
Yeah, just honestly, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. This being my third year under Coach Peterson and stuff, but just building on everything. Being a little bit more consistent of a shooter, playing a little bit better defense, and I think the way we play should help out, my game and everybody's game on the team, and I think our whole team's excited about that. So, yeah, I don't think a whole lot's going to change, but just get a little better at everything, be a better leader as well, too.
Caleb, you are one of two returners that were on an all-conference team last year in the Summit League. And a lot of those other guys made the leap to high major programs. You see South Dakota State lost a kid to Kansas, lost a kid to UCLA. I'm sure that there were people that reached out somehow to gauge your interest on whether or not you wanted to get back in the portal and transfer, and you didn't go. You're still here. You came back. Why? That's not normal in 2024 in college hoops.
Money's out there. Money's always going to be printed every day. I want to build a legacy. I want to leave my name here. I want to be the first to go to the tournament here. I want to do something that matters. Obviously, like I just said, money's getting printed every day. And I feel like at the end of the day, I really love basketball. So I feel like I would have been doing myself a disservice to go somewhere for a different reason and maybe stop loving the game as much. And I just enjoy being in Vermillion. It's peaceful. So,
Paul, what's it like going from North Dakota to South Dakota? When you transferred, did you get blowback? I'm not from around here, but I can only imagine what that was like.
Yeah, that was a while ago, so
I know it was
really, but obviously there was some people that weren't too happy, but it is what it is, and I'm glad I'm here at South Dakota, and that's what it is.
He said, thanks for bringing that up, Jeff.
No, but I'm curious. Again, we're not from around here, so I'm really curious, what that rivalry is like.
South Dakota versus North Dakota, there's always a little bit of a, something there, but I would say the first year we played them, it was definitely especially at their place, there was more hostile, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
can you repeat some of the things that they were saying about you?
The fans maybe not, but the players and Coach Say there's always good about it and stuff like that. So, honestly, we're just focused on our team this year and going out and doing what needs to be done.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the team this year because your brother's on the roster. Do they fight like siblings there? Do they squabble at all?
Nah, I think they get together get along together pretty well. So
brother's supposedly a better golfer.
Well, I got some questions. I have some questions. So who is the better golfer? First of all, I want Paul to answer, and then I want you to answer. Who's the better golfer?
I mean, we both golfed in high school. You can just go back and look at the tournament. You can decide for yourself. But yeah, I'd say I'm the better golfer. We don't get to play a whole lot, with the schedule. And, practicing all summer, but we do get out there some, and it's pretty competitive, yeah.
Paul's better?
Yeah, Paul's better.
Who's the better shooter?
Oh, that's tough. That's super tough.
You could say Isaac.
Nah, it's man, it's whoever's on is the better shooter. They're both making shots. I don't know who's the better shooter.
How good was your brother though on the tour? I heard he was terrific in Italy.
Yeah, he had a really good summer, and I think our whole team had a great summer. We really came together off the court, on the court, and learned a lot about each other. And being together for 11 days or whatever it was over there was big for us, and we got some extra practice time with that during the summer. So I think that's just really propelled us to this fall, and we're just focusing on every single day getting better at practice because the games will come, and we're staying in the moment for now.
Who's got better style?
That's a good one.
Man, it's kind of similar, similar style. I honestly don't know. I think it's pretty similar.
Paul?
Probably, yeah.
I'll go with myself.
What was the highlight of the trip to Italy, Caleb?
The Lake Como part. We're on the boat to
nice,
La
isn't it?
Bellagio. Yeah, that was easily the best part for me. That was really cool.
What did you kind of learn about your program? Like, to me, the value of that is not, I mean, obviously you get some practices, you play some games, but it's the bonding, right? It's being able to go out and hang out with your friends, turn teammates that maybe weren't friends into friends, turn a team into or turn a roster into a team, right? So where did those experiences come from?
I think it was interesting, being in a foreign land, we all have to like really use each other and as our guy, because we don't really know what's going on over here. So I think that it just helped us get close, like even with our freshmen, some of the younger guys, like there's no point anymore, like where there's like maybe they not like don't feel comfortable talking or whatnot. We kind of like we had to talk to each other, like regardless of what was going on over there, like we had to use each other for like whatever we wanted to do. Like nothing's in English, so the only way we were able to get around was with each other. So that was important for sure.
Yeah, I think the team bonding part was great off the court, and I think that honestly helped us on the court during the games and even through practices. We're not afraid to get on each other. We know we're a super tight team, and I think that Italy trip definitely helped with that.
Those trips usually do. That's the biggest benefit, as much as anything, is team bonding and the 10 practices, right?
Yep, for sure.
Well, we appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate you stopping by. Good luck this season. And hopefully you guys will make a jump here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Good seeing you, man. Yep. Best of luck this season. We have North Dakota's coming up next. We're going to be joined by Coach Sather. We got Trazen Eaglestaff and good seeing you, man. And Amar Koljahovich. Did I get that right, Ryan? Koljahovich? We'll find out when he gets up here. Yeah, we'll find out. I'll find out the hard way.
See if Paul can spell
good way or the wrong way. Yeah, that'll be a good one. So I think Coach Sather's over there. He'll be here in just a second. Do you need another bathroom break?
No, I'm good. If I got another
You need a lunch break? The buffet's over there. We got some Firehouse subs, actually. Those
I feel like last year, they were gone by the time we ended. So I don't know. I might send you over there to grab a couple.
You don't need any Firehouse subs. They don't have any Firehouse salads over there. That's what you need.
I do need a salad. Yeah. I'll take an Italian sub, though.
You had 3 Caesar salads after 4 o'clock yesterday.
I did. What's up?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Coach Sather, we are live.
Good to see you.
If you want to say anything bad about North Dakota State, where the mic is hot right now. So, how you doing, man?
I'll keep those. No, I'm just kidding.
Keep those behind.
I've been good. I've been good. It's been go time, right? You start in September 23rd to practice. I think that's the earliest we've ever started.
It's so long now.
It was a week of practice, and we're talking about this and that as a staff. When I looked up and I said, guys, it's not even October yet. So, exhale. Got a lot of work to do still, and
you're ahead
a lot of time
because you can work with them in the summer, right? Yeah. I mean, they can get tired of hearing your voice now, can't they?
Yeah, and we actually tried something a little bit different this summer. We went early for June into the 4th of July, then the week after the 4th, and I gave them 5 weeks, and we brought them back. We used our last week, the week before school started, and then we started school, so we got them back. We got them acclimated with the start, and with the new guys now, especially transfers, it's kind of nice to bring them back that week before school starts to you could still do your last preseason week, and then you're getting them acclimated with campus starting to get full, get them going. So
you got some new guys.
We do. Yeah.
You're not alone. I mean,
no.
I feel like that's par for the course right now in college hoops. What's this new group going to give you this year that you need?
Yeah, I when I look at like what we have returning, it starts with them because we do have 10 guys coming back. So we've got 10 guys that understand what it's like day in, day out at UND, our travel, what that's going to be like, our preparation, our practices, and what those are like. So there's I'd like to think there's a really good example of that. But then we just, when you're bringing in transfers, you don't always know until you get a chance to, it's like Mike Tyson, you might have a plan until you get hit in the face. Well, transfers, a lot of times you don't really know what you have until practice and adversity and different things are going on. And I couldn't be any more excited. Reggie Thomas is an NAIA All-American, first-team All-American out of Hastings College, and, a little undersized, but like when you watch him play, you don't feel it. He's physical. He's an every possession guy. And, he doesn't have to be 24 points a game like he was at Hastings. He can lead a team, make the right play, hit open threes, and defend and kind of set the tone for us. And so that's a transfer that will depend a lot on. Mir Panome was at Tulane. He's the younger brother of Bentu Panome, who's on my staff, who I coached. And, nice connection. Hard to still get him, but when he did get in the portal, we were able to get involved and get him. And, Mir right now is leading us in defensive rebounding at 6'3" in practice. So what he can bring physically, but then he's a great shoulders up kid too. And I'm excited about how his growth is going to continue, because this is his first year of really playing where, man, I'm going to be a big part of this.
Yeah.
And then Darius Woodson from Tyler Junior College. I saw him as a freshman, and we always evaluate and we write things down next to their name. I saw him as a freshman, and I did the old TFG by him. You guys can figure out what that stands for. I really feel like he's pretty good. And so, as the year went on this year, we kind of identified him again and kept watching him. We ended up getting him on campus on our roster, and I think Darius is going to surprise a lot of folks. 6'7" lefty that shoots it really well. But, man, I love his decision-making. We've been challenging him. I think Amar likes to hog rebounds. We've been challenging him to get on the glass more and rebound harder. But his feel and his ability to stretch it offensively and handle it, been really happy. So I think we got some transfers that can help us.
Like these guys that are coming in,
They need to help.
about the guys who came back. You got a lot.
Yeah.
But it sounds like
you need to stay old.
So
You got to stay old. We redshirted 4 guys, and those 4 guys are going to be freshmen this year, and they're going to compete their butts off. The Zach Crafts of the world can shoot it, and great weapon. Doppler, really good skill. They're still young. Bothan, what you notice is they're still learning how to compete and rebound and defend at the level that they need to. And so with these older guys, we can depend on them a little bit more to be consistent at that. And these younger guys are coming and coming and coming. So, it's exciting. Who knows where you are right now compared to where you are in December or even January? It changes a lot. But I like where we are right now. But, man, a lot of work to do still.
Where have you seen Trayson kind of expand his game?
Yeah.
He's going to you're losing some score from last year. You have a lot of retention, but you lost some bigger names. Is he stepping into a bigger role? Are you going to ask for more of him, or is he just kind of him and you need other guys to step up around?
He's had a huge role even since he's a freshman. He's a backup point guard for us as a freshman and a 2 guard. So it's expanded every year. Last year, a lot more freedom offensively, and BJ, the ball was in their hands. They look to score a little bit more. The ball's going to move better, I think, offensively for us. Trey's got a really good feel of making the right play. He's better at using ball screens. He's gotten better at being stronger with the ball and handling pressure. Kind of understand that he's 6'6", and he might have smaller guys onto him. Some teams put a smaller guy onto him and they really press into him. We started posting those guys up last year, and we started getting guys in foul trouble. So his versatility in and out, defensively, he's gotten better. At 6'6", again, he's got good movement and quickness, but he's not this just defensive, this huge shutdown guy, right? But he's really gotten good at keeping guys in front, using his length and size. But, just overall maturity, growing, confident, his demeanor, his emotional, all those things are just so much more consistent day in, day out because he's growing up. And it's fun to see that. And I'm excited about what.
And you don't get that so much more anymore in these days.
Yeah.
In 2024 in college basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of these guys will come in and it's like either 2 years they're too good and they're off, or they're not good enough. And you kind of say, thanks, but no thanks. You probably need to find a different spot to go. It's when you get those guys that could be there for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's cool for you to see them develop. But those are the guys that get connections to the fan base. Those are the guys that become legends within those programs, right? And
especially being a North Dakota kid for him. Like we literally, and we nicknamed him North Dakota Hoops Report because he's always asking us about guys and what we think of them. And he's, we'll see him at hye school games. I'll have people come up and say, Trey was in the Choice facility where it's a workout facility at like a community center, right? And he was in there with like 8 kids just hanging out and shooting hoops and working out with them. Like he's just one of those guys that is always like everybody. He's really embraced, and the community's really embraced him. And awesome. Both those guys are awesome guys. Yep.
So you're picked 6th, but I feel like the preseason rankings this year more than ever mean nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, it's just we don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. You
Yeah.
feel that way too, even when you
Yeah.
look around the league a little bit.
I don't know. We might be the only team in the country that has two preseason first team all league guys that are pick six. So
Right.
like I don't know
Crazy,
what makes
right?
sense anymore. And like I told our guys, and you say this all the time any year, but it's like whether you preseason top 2 or 3 or bottom 3 or 4, at this point in time, your opportunity is right now to have go have a great practice. I really like this group. And I know in my heart and my gut what we can maybe accomplish and achieve this year. I think they feel that too. But man, we can't sit and just complain about what we got preseason picked. Let's just go work, and we'll prove everybody wrong. That's the idea. Let's not talk about it. Let's just go do something, man. Have some action.
Shoulder, no?
I didn't mind it when I saw it. I'd be lying if I said I was a little surprised to see it.
Already?
But I sent a message to the guys already saying, hey, nobody needs to pound their chest and shout to the hills on what this is. What we need to do is understand, hey, this is what people think. But let's put some work in, and let's have a little edge to our work now, and maybe it helps a little more sense of purpose and urgency in what we do, because listen, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're usually never as bad as you think you are. And if you get caught up and worried about what the world thinks of you, geez, you're worrying about the wrong stuff. So let's work. And the thing I like about this group is they kind of have that mentality. These two guys do, but a guy like Reggie Thomas, who's kind of been defying odds his whole life with his career, is going to have a little bit of a chip every day. So like good, right? The old is it Jocko?
Let's
Good.
get into this.
Jocko, the old Navy Ranger or Navy SEAL guy, his big theme is good. When it's not going your way, good. It's a chance for you to grow and get better, and that's kind of how we're going to use it.
I wanted to ask you about Myra Panoam, because I do think that going from playing very, very little, the way that he did, to being able to be on a program where you're getting more minutes, like sometimes there's a little bit of a rust factor there, right?
Yeah.
How do you help him work through that?
Eli King went through that last year.
Mm-hmm.
Eli went from hardly getting time, and even then at practice, you become a little bit of an afterthought. And as the season gets going, you're in games, you're scouting, like you're not developing the way you should be if you're playing in games. And Eli went through that last year, and you could see his growth and just how he continued to take off. And I think Mir's going to go through the same thing. And what's fun about Mir is just he's a guy that brings a lot of joy to the table, and so now he's kind of built that way anyhow, and now he knows he's playing for some opportunity. So you're bringing this, like he brings some awesome, just intangible stuff. The joy he brings, the life he brings, it's fun. All those, like our transfer guys, all bring a little bit of that enthusiasm and joy that have really it's changed a little bit. Like we weren't that way last year. We were a little more of a quiet group. Like these two guys are a little quiet. The rest of our makeup, BJ was quiet. Tyree's pretty quiet. Like we got a group now that's got a little bit more of a.
You'll have to lead less. You're hoping.
Well, I think for sure with those guys and a guy like Eli and Reggie, I think definitely their leadership will emerge more. There's a little more voice there. Yeah.
Good. That's good. You want that. That's good in practice.
Listen,
right?
It's been fun. There's no doubt. Yeah. Yep.
Are we going to make him spell Koljahovich?
No.
Koljahovich?
Yeah.
Am I getting it right?
I think it's KJULHOVIC. Am I close? I don't know.
Yes. I'm going to give you a yes on that. I'm going to give you a
Nobody's going to, anyone that maybe can go back and listen to the recording and go through it. But yeah, I know. And I got that, I'm a Norwegian at heart, I guess, here. And my tongue, I don't speak. I'm a northern Minnesota guy. So like speaking some of these names are difficult for me. So I call him Amar.
Yeah, there you go.
Amar, obviously, he's great in the post. And that's what he does most of his work, right on the glass and the post.
Yeah.
Will he step out a little bit more this year? Like, have you
seen it? You started seeing it
You
started seeing it last year, and he's really worked at it. Like I think the other day in practice, I think in our possessions, we probably practiced with 80 to 90 possessions. I think he made 3 threes in that possession in those possessions. So there's no question he could be a guy that makes 1 to 2 a game. Maybe 2 a game. That's a lot. That means you're taking 5 to 6 a game. But I just, when you're big and we do a lot of 5-out stuff, there's opportunities, especially with getting 2 on the ball. There's opportunities for him to pop. The thing I love about him is when he is popping or when he's in that position, if teams are rotating to him, he's been really good at finding the next guy, and that's the key. Is when you got guys that understand a good shot to a great shot, and we're really emphasizing good to great as far as our mentality on shooting, because they're sharing the ball awesome, and it's fun to see that, and they get excited about when the ball moves and when it goes in. They all get excited. So whether that's still going on in November, December, we'll see, but it's going on right now, which is good.
All right, well, listen, they're right over there waiting to jump on stage. Coach, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, awesome. We
Best of luck
appreciate
this
you guys.
season, man.
We appreciate you guys coming, man. I really do. It's awesome for us and awesome for our league. Sounds good. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. That was Paul Sather, North Dakota head coach. We're going to be joined by Trayson Eaglestaff and Amar Koljahovic here in just a second as they make their way up on stage. You kind of touched on it a little bit with Paul Bruns earlier, but the idea that you have like the North Dakota State, South Dakota State rivalries. Yeah, it's good, but it's also it feels
fun to see. Like
fun.
I want to feel it though. Like at some point, I really do. I want to get out here and feel some of that.
Yep. Trayson and Amar are joining us now. How you doing? Rob Doster. Amar, good to see you. Rob Doster.
How you doing?
We are live. Those mics are hot, so if you want to talk bad about your coach, you got to wait until you're off the stage. How we doing, gentlemen? How we feeling?
Blessed.
Everything good? Good to be out here?
Yeah.
Getting ready for the season. We're under a month away from the first game. You ready?
Yeah, ready as you can be. Excited.
Tired of killing each other already?
A little bit, yeah.
It's only been a couple of weeks. So
Hey.
it's so different, though, now than it used to be. You guys can work with the coaches all summer, certain amount of time, and practice starts earlier. It used to be where mid-October was the first practice, and think about it, coaches couldn't work with you guys. It's changed. Are you almost ready to go because of that? Because you feel like it's a longer off season because you're able to work with the coaches?
So we worked most of early summer, and then we got most of kind of end of the summer off.
Yeah.
So we got back the week before school started. But even in our practice, like in the summer, like we do a lot of live stuff. It's like to get playing with each other and different teams and stuff. So when coach does a lot of live stuff, that just gets us like ready. And then ever since that, every day you go live 6 days, 7 days, 5 days a week. It just gets you wanted to play, and it's someone else, not your own guys.
Trayson, your coach was up here talking about how connected you are to kind of the North Dakota community.
Called you ND Hoops Report or something like that.
Damn near, yeah.
Is that what it is?
You're from the area. You're from the state. You know people in the state. You represent the state. What does it mean to you playing for North Dakota?
Yeah, Dom Izzo asked me that question too. I try my best to represent the state. I try the best to do as much as I can for my state. Every weekend they'd ask me where I went because I'd either go north, south. I'd go to every single like little town. One of my bucket lists I told them was try to go to every at least high school or popular gym in every town. And I'm probably 70% knocked out most of them gyms. But
just go play pickup there, or
like pickup, or just know someone to go shoot around. If I'm by that area, I'll be, hey, I'll like their best high school player. They'll like add me on Snapchat or something, and I'll text them like, hey, let's go shoot. And they'll be all right. So I know a lot of kids from all that area and friends with a lot of people. It's family. I'm a big family guy. So I think I have a lot of family in North Dakota all over. Even if we're not blood, you can still be my family. So I think representing the state best I can and just trying to put on for my state, because there's not a lot of opportunity that can come from North Dakota, which is it's life. You got to live with it. And
it's so true, though. It's like, I'm sure you grow up thinking that way a little bit, right? How many guys from this state have gone on to make it and play Division I basketball?
We think about that all the time. And like before Bowdoin and Grants, you're like, there's like the last 10 years, Division I athletes, you can put them on like one hand, I think, or like one or two hands. And ever since that, Bowdoin and Grants here going forward, like me, my friend Joe Hurlbert went to Colorado, like our two freshmen that we have from Bismarck, like there's been a lot more, which is great to see. And it's happy to see that. But before, it was just really tough to come out of North Dakota Division I. And now,
so how many miles have you put on your car doing that?
Yeah, I got my Impala when I was a senior in high school. My freshman year of college, it was at 80. Now I'm at probably 160.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
miles. I also wanted a truck too, but I thought about it. I was like, I just not now. Not now. I just travel too much.
Yeah, Amar, your coach Sather was on here, and he said that he could shoot like 5 or 6 threes a game, right?
Yeah,
That's
he
what he
gave
was
you the green
saying.
light.
Yeah, green light.
He told us
to get him up.
The green light.
Bless.
Hoist them
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, I've been working on it this offseason, trying to improve my shot, which I think I have been. In the last few practices, I've been just hitting shots, so just got to continue with that confidence going into games, and just hopefully hit at least 2-3 a game and get those rebounds that I'm good at getting, and hopefully that helps.
Yeah, Coach said you hog rebounds a little bit. Is that true?
Oh yeah, I love getting them. That's my
He
type
said
of
yeah.
points right there.
Yeah.
Like guys care about points, I care about rebounds. That's mine.
What,
Do you know? I'm gonna ask him this question. Who do you have ranked number 1 this year in the preseason?
Be honest.
Alabama.
Yes. You guys know what December 18th is? Have you circled it?
Oh yeah.
What's December 18th?
Another game. I mean,
Big one though.
Good answer.
What did he say? What did you say?
Is that another game?
it's a big game, but I mean, they create the same, they shoot the same. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball. You can't look into the bigger picture and get starstruck by those guys. They're coming to us, so it's going to be a crazy atmosphere, and I think we can definitely shock some people.
How cool was it when you heard that they're coming back? For Grant Nelson, obviously, to get close to home, but like to play in your gym.
I mean, Amar said it's another game, but when I got the news, I was in Omaha, North Dakota, where my mom grew up, doing a camp. My aunt stopped me mid-camp, came in the gym. Oh, you're playing Bama this year? I heard rumors about it. I didn't think anything of it. She's like, when I get tickets, I was like, I gotta work these kids out for a second. I was like, I'll get back to you. But my whole family thought it was a big deal. And knowing that they got a North Dakota kid too, I mean, that's just really cool for them to come back, and such a good team. A lot of returners. I remember I was with Larry Suggs in Florida. I was at his house watching the UNC game when Grant was doing great. And I remember he texted me after they found out Bama, and he was like, go kill kid. And I was just laughing. I was like, hey, I was just going to try to do the best I can, help my team the best way I can. So, yeah.
Is that a little extra motivation that there's a North Dakota kid on that roster?
I mean, he's done a lot of work, and I congratulate him for that. But, I mean, no.
He's still going to bust his ass.
I don't know about that, but I'll try to be hardest.
That's the cool part is everybody be watching, whether it's obviously in the state or nationally. Again, because you don't see teams like that going to mid-major.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, they don't do it. So you got to give them a lot of credit. And again, I'm sure you guys will be chomping at the bit to get them. What's the biggest difference we're going to see out of each of you from last season to this season? What have you added to your game?
I want to hear Trayson talk about Amar, and Amar, you talk about Trayson. What have you seen the growth in each other's games?
So, I'm gonna add myself to this conversation with Amar. They put me in a lot more ball screens, like coming off, and I think every time that me and Amar come off a ball screen, Amar scores or does something where he gets an assist or scores, and he's really he's like slowed himself down. So like if it's an open shot, he's gonna be able to shoot it and like not like worry about someone's hand. He's not gonna second guess himself. He's been a more confident player. And coming from the JUCO level to that 1 year where he became a starter, one of our best players, it's like now he has that, like I'm the guy. So so now he's ready to go kill. If I give him the ball, I'm not worried about if it's gonna be a turnover or none. It's either gonna go in, miss shot, like everyone misses shots, or he's gonna make a play. And that's something I'm really happy to see. Have that 2-man game.
I had that hair, I'd have swag. That's all.
It's more that you
it's the stash. It's the stash. That's what they were saying.
The mustache, the hair. Listen, I'd have a whole
break
lot.
Down Trayson's game.
I mean, he just keeps on improving. I mean, I'm proud of what he's been doing. Not only like game wise, but being a better leader. I think he's been trying to grow that, trying to keep the young guys in check. And I see him all the time, clapping, giving high fives, talking. This is the most I've ever seen Trayson talk to other guys in a while.
Nice.
On the court. I love to see it. He's a great shooter. This is his team, and I'm going to help him achieve his goals. Me and him, I think we can do great things. And yeah.
Do you have this up on the bulletin board yet? Have you seen this?
Talk to Mar about that one.
Well, my take is, okay, 2 first-team all-league guys preseason, and you're picked 6th.
Me personally,
Yeah.
like I'm the type of guy like that doesn't feel me. Like I don't care. Like people can talk. You just got to stay down and do your own thing. But like certain people, like Amar gets in field, and like when you get Amar field and get him mad, like then it's like a different story.
Really?
So like I'm happy for
Fiery.
him. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
so that was on purpose, huh?
That
was just like,
Piss
yeah,
him
we got to
off?
get Amar mad.
Really?
Yeah, good luck anyone else trying to get a
Add up.
rebound.
I mean, it really doesn't add up. You think about it. I mean, how many teams have two preseason first-team all-league guys and are picked the bottom half of the league?
I mean, I never got an award in the summer league so far, and I've had 2 pretty good years, and I still don't think about. I don't care about it that much. You just live and life goes on. Yeah, with people like him, when it feels him, like that's something that you can't just fake that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That really helps him out.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this season. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Make sure oil change every like 5,000 miles on that car. All right.
Thank you.
Amar, good meeting you, man.
Keep doing it, man. That's fun to hear about.
Yep.
You too.
We have Omaha coming up next. I believe Chris Crutchfield's on his way over here.
Oh, he's on his way, but not quickly.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
Oh, he's on the scooter.
He's on
How's
the
he going to get
scooter.
up the stairs?
Huh?
How's he going to get up the stairs? What are we going to do?
I don't know. He's going to have to limp up, maybe. I don't know. Crutch is pretty tough. I think he'll figure it out.
Here's what I want to know.
He may need your help.
Here's what I want to know. No, I'll save it. I'll ask him when he gets up
Yeah,
here.
I mean,
Chris Crutchfield on the way over.
Look at Crutch.
Yeah, we are live.
Crutch
Do you
could have
need
been on
help getting up
crutches.
here? Do you need help?
I told you.
Yeah.
Don't help Crutch. He's fine.
We're
He's fine.
live. We're live. Mics are hot.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
Coach,
that.
you got a boot on your left foot. What's going on,
I
man?
do
What
have
happened?
a boot, and I really want to tell you this. I was trying to make sure our guys knew who Tim Hardaway was, and I was working on that killer crossover.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
And I lost the battle, as you can see. No, just joking. I had some toe surgery done here about almost 2 weeks. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks, so just something I need to get fixed. Wear and tear over the years, and I'm fine.
Your nickname, everyone calls you Crutch.
Oh my
And
goodness!
You're over here on a scooter.
I
You
had
can't even
crutches.
get your
I elevated to the scooter, so I'm still no weight bearing for a while.
Oh, you could. It's
been good. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's just awkward sometimes, certain places. But it ain't bad. You ever use one? Oh,
Never. You have before. It sounds like you
no, this is my first one. First one, but you get around fast. You get around.
My wife broke her ankle about 4 years ago. And the only experience I have on the scooter is that I used to ride that thing around the house because it's fun.
Yeah, it's
man.
very fun.
Yeah,
you
get
get
the
on a
corners
flat
of that
surface
thing.
now. You're on a flat
you
surface.
can get going. How you doing, man? How's
Good.
how's your team looking? How you feeling about it?
You know what? I really like this group just because we're older. Man, we got some experience. We got four seniors and 5 juniors on our roster. We never had that before. And as you know, in this league, if you're older and experienced, that kind of wins out sometimes. So hopefully we have a chance to compete in the top half of the league. So that's where we're at. But I like some of the pieces that we added. I really do. I think we gotten bigger and stronger, got some girth, upgraded our guard spot. So and we're moving in the right direction. Going into year 3, I'm excited just because of the experience more so than anything. It's been easier because when you implement things, the guys pick it up faster. I mean, you can move along faster. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You know, life without Frankie.
Yeah.
Different. Will be different.
No doubt.
I mean, he was a hell of a
Yep.
player. You know that. I mean, he
Mhm.
wouldn't be at Michigan State if he wasn't
No
a hell of a
doubt.
player, right?
Yeah.
What have you changed in maybe adapting to your personnel?
Really happy for Frankie. I mean, great opportunity for him to go play for somebody like Tom Izzo. Unbelievable job. And he wanted to that experience. He wanted to know what that was like. And we had a lot of conversations about it. So we still talk. He loved where he's at.
When he first came in and he was like, hey, coach, I'm going to put my name in the portal here. And we didn't know at that point, we didn't know what the money was, Crutch. When
No
he
doubt.
put his name in the portal,
No doubt.
the money wasn't a year ago what it was this past offseason.
No, I put on my recruiting hat. Of course, I tried to talk him out of it, and we tried to come up with some resources for him. We couldn't match what that was, but I thought if he had came back, he would probably have been preseason player of the year. We would be probably be picked higher in the league, no doubt about it, because he's an impact type of guy. But I told him, I said, I've been at that level, and it's fun, and it's a great experience for you. So if you have a chance to go, have fun, do it, and we're happy for him. But we've been able to fill those spots that he left, man. We picked up a kid by the name of Cam Thomas, who's a junior college All-American who can really score, and we've been happy with him in our fall camp. Lance Waddles, who transferred from North Dakota State. Like he's been a unbelievable surprise, man. A guy that played a role, with the Bison. Now he's going to be able to have a bigger role with us, and he's older, more experienced, and no doubt about it. And we picked up some bigs, and that we're really, really excited about. So we need to improve that area. Yeah.
When you lose a guy like Frankie, I'm always curious how you kind of view, because part of why you get into coaching, and I think everybody is like this, is you want to put these kids, especially at the college level, these kids at the best opportunity to succeed in life, and help them get to reach their dreams and reach those opportunities. Ideally, that would be like Frankie going to the NBA after winning a league championship at Omaha, right? But with the way that it's set up, that might also be the most money he ever makes at Michigan State this year as a player. So, I know he's going to a different level and he's leaving the program, but I guess my question is, how conflicted are you when it comes to a situation like that? Or
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Because we're happy for the kids in our program. We're player first program, so we're happy for Frankie. I mean, our whole staff was elated. And it got down to a couple other schools, and we was like, "Hey, man, this is great. This is a great problem to have." Because he was really nervous, had a lot of anxiety, and we talked every single day. This is the guy who put his name in the portal. 2 weeks go by, he's floating around with all these schools, but he's in our gym every day, in our office every day.
So he didn't want to leave, but it's like that opportunity.
Didn't leave. He didn't leave. Yeah. And finally, we're like, Frankie, we can't work you out anymore, man. But he was fun.
Go to East Lansing, Frank.
And he goes to East Lansing. He come home for a break. Guess where he comes? He comes to the gym. Comes to hang out with his old teammates and the coaching staff,
listen, life's changed. We know that.
Yeah.
The whole world's changed since you got into it, since I got into it. But,
nope.
Again, it's one of those things where if you put yourself in that kid's shoes, probably make the same decision. Probably.
No doubt. If I had a son, I would have told him to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Go get that experience out the way.
Yep.
So.
And you're playing for a pretty good coach.
Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly. The good thing is you bring back three guys that played key roles last year. So it's not you're bringing in a bunch of new dudes.
Right.
But I've said this. Like, as long as you bring back 3 or 4 guys of your top 8, I think you feel pretty good about where you're at these days. Not back in 2005 or even 2015, but in 2024.
Yep.
You bring back 3 or 4 guys, you feel pretty good.
I do. Like Markel Sutton, Tony Osborne, who you guys will talk to probably later. Then we got J.J. White, who played a lot of games for us over the last 2 years. Those guys were all in the first recruiting class when I got the job. So they've been with me. They know me. Then we added some older veteran guys to that bunch. We got 7 new guys, 7 new ones, but they all have experience. And so that's what I'm really excited about. And those guys have been great.
How many freshmen are on this team?
2. One is a walk-on and one's not. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, think about that.
Yep.
You have 1 scholarship
freshman, no doubt.
If I had told you that when you got the job, you would have said I was crazy a couple of years ago.
I probably would have because I hadn't digested the transfer portal yet. Coming from Oregon where we lived in the transfer portal. And I got here, I didn't want to do it because I want to try to establish a program. I didn't think you could do it with 1-year guys. So we took junior college guys with 3 years. We took high school kids. And now I find myself moving in the other direction, which is really, really satisfying because, the transition with those older kids is unbelievable. Our practices have moved so much faster. We've been able to put so much more stuff in this time of the year.
Is that also because you think part of it is that you have less time also as a head coach these days that, people, you got to win now. You got to win now. So it's almost like you might want to still stay with that freshman model, but you feel like there's pressure on you. And I'm not saying just you, but coaches in general now that you better win right away.
I think so. The leash is shorter just because it is just not in sports. It's all across the board. In corporations, people want things to happen faster. That's just where we are in this microwave society that we're in. And I'm lucky because I got a great AD. I have a great chancellor who really, really gets it and understands our basketball program could be the front porch to that university, and they're supporting me 100%. And but I think for me, as I get older, I think moving towards having an older team makes me feel better. I sleep better at night knowing that I don't have to worry about so many other things, and we don't have to repeat so many different drills like I did in year one compared to where I'm at now in year 3.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I don't think fans realize that if you have a team with like 6 or 7 guys coming back, right, and you're going to go in there and you're going to try to install your offense, your players can go out there. You put that first 5 out, those returners, they go run it, and the other guys figure it out.
They can do it.
They're probably running it in the offseason in captain's practice.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
And when you got a whole bunch of new guys, like you got to explain it to them. It's
Over.
Like, you're supposed to go here. No, you messed that up. No, you got to study your playbook. No, you got to go sit the bench. I know we brought you in to start at the point, but if you can't figure out our offense, it's hard.
Very frustrating time when you got a young team. And I was talking to Hindu the other day. He has a young team, and his first time in a while since he's had a really young team. So he said, "Oh, Crutch, he don't have any hair right now, but I'm losing it as I go."
All right, so talk to me about these 2 guys that we got coming up. We got Tony and we got Markel. We're going to hear from them in about 5 minutes. Where have you seen them grown and kind of, I guess, especially with Markel, like what is your expectation on him? He's the guy, I think he's a preseason, is he first or second team? Second team.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the first name on that scout report.
Right.
Like where do you expect him to grow and how is he going to handle that?
The biggest part for him is being able to play with confidence. And my job is to instill that in him where he keeps it. Bad game, good game, average game, your confidence don't sway at all. That's been a problem with him in the past. Now we worked with him all fall camp and expanding his shooting range to 3. And he's been unbelievable doing that. And he's gotten bigger and stronger. Again, you look at his body, he's bigger, he's stronger. He's always been a good athlete. Now we want him to kind of turn into a big guard, so to speak, because as a 4, you have to be able to space the floor and shoot the basketball, right? Just not enough space out there because with the bigs that we do have, we need them to be able to take up that paint. So he's been working on shooting the ball, working on his ball handling. It's funny because he spent all summer in a sleeve, in a sling, because he has surgery on his elbow. So he gets back in the fall camp, then he rolls his ankle. So he's been out for a little bit. He's just been back for a week. But he's been out, but he's worked his butt off in improving his jump shot. And with Tony just being more consistent, being able to put the ball on the floor, being able to play off a shot fake because he's such a really, really good shooter. And we talked to him about being able to just be a little bit more dynamic in the way you manipulate defenders and how you get open, how you create space to get shots.
So you talked about Josh earlier being one of those big. You loaded up with bigs.
Yes.
Loaded up with them. How do you see that? How you're going to play with those guys? Is it 2-3 guys fighting for one spot? Because you brought in a few other guys as well.
Well, Josh Great came from North Dakota State. Then we picked up Isaac Okonde from Lindenwood, who's 6'9", 275, and he's a load. The freshman Pablo Samare is 6'8", 275, 265. And they're big, wide-body guys, and we plan on playing all 3 of them. And because I think
where are 2 teams stand?
No doubt about it. We're going to try to be physical and try to keep people out of our paint. We're going to post up. We're going to throw the ball inside a little bit more.
School.
I think you win that way. I think you win that way.
The only problem I have with that is that the big guy on their staff is Cayenne Brown.
They're going to beat him up. They're going to beat him up.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to work.
Well, it's just you figure if you want a big guy out there, you want to coach it like it was actually a good big guy, right?
You say that. I just remember years ago watching Steve Wojciechowski coaching the bigs at Duke.
Right.
Like, what? How does this work? Right? Sometimes you don't have to be Danny Manning to coach the bigs.
Well, good. They don't have Danny Manning. They have Cayenne Brown.
Hey, Cayenne, I hope you're watching this because he just hated on you now. You got to get that pad out. Get that pad out and get ready.
Hey, stick to the Traeger, all right? Keep out of the paint. No, I love KB.
Yeah.
What's the and we'll end with this because, okay, you guys are ready. What is the one thing that's got to happen for you guys this year for us to look up in February and Omaha is right there, first place, second place, competing for the Summit League regular season
I think
title?
consistent three-point shooting, and I think being able to keep people out of our paint defensively.
You should be able to do that.
No
Keep
doubt.
people out of the paint.
No doubt.
I think
It's hard to do.
I think you've addressed that.
Yes,
right?
we have.
He just texted me.
Good.
When are you done with the scooter?
I'm still weight bearing. I go to the doctor on Thursday, and it's been 2 weeks. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. So Thursday, doctor appointment. Hopefully, I get some good news and I can start walking. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. Rob, you need to lit him up now. He's gonna go get in the gym right now.
Yeah, there he is. All right, listen.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you being here, man. Be safe. Get down those stairs.
I will. I appreciate you guys being here. This is
be
big for our
careful
league.
Be careful on that scooter. I know you're gonna have some fun trying to fly around here.
I'm gonna go really slow.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
That's what you say when you're behind the wheel too. I'm gonna go really slow. I won't get any speeding tickets.
Yeah, no,
we'll talk about that later.
No more of those.
Crutch, appreciate you, man. We have Tony Osborne. We have Markel Sutton. We have the stars of the Omaha program coming up here next. And we'll be joined by them. Then we have South Dakota State coming up to close it out. And we will be joined by, let me make sure I got that right, Eric Henderson, Oscar Clough, and Kaylin Gary.
How are you? Good.
Tony, how you doing? We are live. Those mics are hot.
Can't say anything crazy.
Well, you can just
Okay.
know what's going on. We just spent the last 2 minutes making fun of Cayenne Brown out here. So
Oh, that's my guy. I'm sure he's watching, so I might have to take a couple jabs at him too.
yeah, he did. I got the triple birds, the triple bird emojis.
That sounds a little bit like him.
Yeah. All right, Tony, talk to me about just a little bit about how you're kind of adjusted as a team when you lose a player as good as Frankie. Other guys are going to have to step up bigger roles. There's more shots available. There's more possessions available offensively. He's like, I'm going to get these shots off.
Yeah, you don't replace a guy like that with one guy, and that's just the reality of it. You got to replace him with the group, and this is kind of what college basketball used to be. Guys kind of wait around for a bigger role, and some guys move up, and that's kind of what we hope to do. And I think the biggest thing is we want to win. We're older, we're mature, and we realize the winning is the main goal. So I think that's the biggest thing, and just really all being focused on that main goal instead of worrying about the uncertainties of scoring and who's going to be the biggest role on the team. So
is it crazy, Markel, coming up here after something else over there? Is it crazy the turnover? I mean, again, you guys had like 3 guys back and then a bunch of new faces. Who you probably didn't know any of them.
We lost a few pieces. Frankie's a big piece. I think we kind of filled that void, adding new offensive pieces. We bringing back experience, 3 starters, me, Tony, JJ. So we're an older team, so I feel like that's going to help.
Are you healthy? You had that elbow thing.
I'm
you rolled an ankle.
Yeah, we heard. It's been a rough off season.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah,
How long were you out for?
The elbow, like 2 months. My ankle, like 17 days. I just got back like last week.
Did you have one of those cool scooters like your coach does?
No, I just had a boot.
Yeah, you're not fancy enough.
He's a senior. He didn't want to go through all the offseason
Yeah.
stuff. So, right?
That's the vet moves right there.
Total vet move.
Who's kind of impressed you in terms of the newcomers? Who's come in and been like, oh, he's going to give us some minutes?
Yeah, Lance Waddles from North Dakota State. He's one of our transfers, and we would watch him on the scout, and you'd be impressed by him. But he had hit a limited role, and they had great guards at North Dakota State, so that's a tough spot. But he came in and he fills it up. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can make plays for other people. He's smart, he's old, he's been a part of it. So him, and then Cam Thomas, he comes to Hutch. He was All-American there. And, he's kind of a quiet kid, and sometimes you might judge that those dudes might not care as much. And then we step on the floor and the switch flips, and, he's all about winning, and, he gets it too. So I think those are my 2 that I've been impressed by so far.
Markel, Coach talked about it a little bit, about expanding your role a little bit, being able to step out, do a little bit more away from the basket this year than even you've been able to do so far. How have you been able to do that when you've been out as long as you have over the offseason?
Well, before I got the surgery, I was doing the most I can with my elbow. I really couldn't shoot because my elbow was messed up. Yeah. So I was still shooting like on the boot, nothing crazy. Yeah. I was still in the gym, working on my shot, watching film with coaches.
More spacing for the team. I mean, it sounds like he brought in some enforcers, some 5 men who can really protect the rim, who will rebound. A lot of guys talk about, and Crutch is a little bit old school, certainly, they get these 5 men that are more pick and pop 5s. And he almost sounded like, hey, I'm going to go old school with my 5 men. They're going to be tough. They're going to protect the rim. They're going to rebound. They're going to finish.
Oh, yeah, they beefed up for sure down there. We got some insides. They're going to help us defend the paint. They're really good. I like Josh's game. He's a smart player. He can pass the ball. Pablo's really good at blocking shots. Ike's good at scoring. So, yeah.
in Markel's head, what he's saying is that's because I'm a 3.
Exactly. That's right.
When Markel, when this offseason kind of came around, like we saw the recruitment that Frankie got, and I'm sure there were people that reached out to you at some point, either directly to you or to coaches or family members or however all that stuff works. And you decided to come back to Omaha. What is it about this program, maybe the staff, maybe Cayenne Brown's ability to get on that Traeger and smoke up some ribs, whatever it is? Like how have you been able to why are you back, I guess?
It's the staff. I love them, man. I've been here for 3 years with them. They was the first school that really wanted me. They made me feel like I was at home. They got ties with Tulsa. He was at ORU, Crutchfield at OU. So was Coach Brown and Coach Niles. So I feel like just the coaches, for real.
Tony, I'm a city guy.
Okay.
All right, I'm a city guy. We went to Kansas State last week, and we went to a cattle auction.
Yep.
All right. You lived, right? You grew up on a farm.
Yep.
All right. Take me through this a little bit. Take me through life living on a farm.
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up on a farm, that's kind of all you know. And, a lot of those kids I grew up with don't know anything else. My parents did a great job of, getting me to play basketball in St. Joe. And, that at the time, that's a big city to me. And that's a lot of my best friends are from St. Joe and Kansas City because of playing basketball. And, my friends kind of I loved playing high school basketball with those guys. And I mean, it was a blast. And, they're all of them going farm or one of them trucks, 40 hours just in 2 days. That's all he'll do is work. And, my dad told me, the farm is always going to be here for you. If that's what you want to do, go play basketball. So, I'm glad I had that opportunity. And, one day my plan is to go take over the farm and do that. So that I'm living this dream as long as I can.
You miss it?
Yeah, no, I miss it. It's only about an hour and a half from Omaha, so I go home every once in a while. But I love being able to sleep in on Sundays instead of having to wake up and help a little bit.
What was the normal Sunday when you were home?
It just depended kind of what it was. There's definitely times where I was cleaning the trailer out and it's all cow poop and it's awful. I'd rather just go and watch NFL all day, but sometimes I had to do stuff like that. But in Omaha, it's kind of up to me, so that's a good thing.
Cool. What was the what were you guys growing? What was the crop?
We corn and soybeans, and my dad, he coached me in high school basketball. It's typical small town. Thanks. And he would have about 100 cows, and then we'd start basketball, and he'd sell some of them and get down to it. So those are the 3 things we have. So
yeah, the money was at that cattle auction that we were at. They were selling some of those cows for like $90,000.
Yeah, that might be a little nicer than what he's doing, but every once in a while he'll make some questionable decisions and sell them too late.
I thought about buying one.
Yeah.
$5,000. There was one for $5,000. I was like, I don't know what I'll do with it.
Uh-huh.
Where am I going to put it?
Markel, it was crazy, man. Like how if you look at like a scouting report for a player to say like they can shoot, they can do this, versatile, do this. It was like they had the scouting reports for the cows. It was like top 9% for milk production, has had 2 calves, could do this. Is like the height, the weight, the fat. Like I was like, what is this?
Well, we wanted to I felt
it's like their rivals page for cows. What they had.
People are bidding and whatever, but I wanted to ask him like, what does all this mean? How are you differentiating?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Were you ready to come on here and talk about cattle auctions?
I figured there'd be a couple farm questions, so I was prepared a little bit.
Think, to me, it's so cool. It's so cool, and again, it's part of the thing. Growing up in Boston, you come out, you come out to a different part of the country, and for me, that's one of the things you want to learn. You want to, different types of how you grew up differently.
Right. I got one more question for each of you. Tony, I want you to give your scouting report on Markel and what the next step for him is and where you want to see him get better. And Markel, I want you to do the same thing for Tony.
Yep. I think Markel has taken a big step in leadership, especially this summer, not being able to do stuff. I think it is big for him to kind of take that step to the side and just see things. And I think he sees that where we need him at when we were playing without him. And, the things he can do is he's an incredible one dribble mid-range shooter, and nobody can contest it because he's, 6'9", he's got long arms, stuff like that, and his 3-point jumper, it looks really good. And, I think he uses as he's getting a little older, he's becoming a little veteran, but he can still jump out of the gym. It's just, there's times he turns it on. Yeah, I mean, he can do anything, And those first 2 years he had to play the 5 a little bit. We had problems with that, so I think that maybe even helped him just become more physical. So, he's a killer. I think I imagine he's going to be on the first team all conference list. I'm going to toot his own horn. They're all great players on there, but I think that's something he can absolutely do.
I would say his maturity. He grew from last year. I know when I was out this summer, he was with the team on the court. He talking. I hear him the most. He's leading out there. He's a great shooter. He works at it like every single day. I see him in there all the time. The grind just doesn't stop with him. He's a great person, and yeah.
All right, well, guys, we appreciate you being here. Best of luck this season, all right?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Advice, anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
breakdown, Kyle scouting reports.
Absolutely, I'll be ready.
Appreciate you, man. Best of luck this season.
Great meeting you, man.
We have one program left.
We do.
One
Hendo.
program left. Hendo, South Dakota State, and the main attraction, for the.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's ready.
For the
He's
Field of
ready.
60 opening.
I
He's
feel
trying
like-
to duck us.
Well, he's
trying to
drinking
duck us.
water,
He's late.
but I feel like with his personality, he's already had like
It
four
says
iced coffees.
it says 12:40 p.m. here on this
You're late.
schedule.
You're late. We've been waiting.
It's
You
12:41.
can come all the way
Yeah,
over.
right over here. Come
I
on.
mean, I know Dosser smells, but
I took a shower.
That late flight, no showers. That's tough.
Yeah.
Tough deal, boys. What's up? How are you doing, fellas?
Good, man.
Good to see you, dudes.
great to see you.
Yeah, life's
So
good.
We got 1 month. We're going to be back out here in less than a month. Are you ready with your young team? I don't even know if you know the names of all your dudes. Yeah, but like,
If you don't, please don't admit it.
yeah, you got a young team. You redshirted some guys. You brought in some. Like, this isn't your typical team since you've been here.
Yeah, it's been a little different, but I'm stoked, fellas. I'm stoked. I mean, we're the competitive spirit in practice has been beautiful. I'm not saying we're going to be a finished product when you're here in a month, boys. I'm not saying that, but we'll be ready to battle and we'll fight.
Yeah, you just got to beat Will Wade.
Oh, that seems easy, right? Yeah, right. They're stacked. I mean, obviously, going to be a possibly top 25 team. And I just think it's great what you guys did, put that field together with holy cow, the field that you guys were able to put together and to be able to do it here in Sioux Falls. I kind of like it, fellas.
That's part of that. Well, that's part of why we wanted to pick the Pentagon to play it in, and 2, why we wanted you guys there is because of the pedigree of the program, the fan base that you guys have, and the following that you guys have, and the fact that we know we're going to walk in and 1, see good basketball, and 2, have a place where you got a bunch of crazy people wearing blue and yellow in the crowd. So
blue and yellow, brother.
I'm
and
fired up for it, man. I really do appreciate you buying into the vision that we had for this, because I don't think we could pull it off the way we want to pull it off without you.
Wade, both of you.
Actually, you know what? You might have been the easiest sell out of all of them. They're like, hey, Hendo, we're coming up to South Dakota. Yeah, I'm playing. I'll be there.
I'm in.
Just let me know when.
I said to him, hey, are you in? Do you care who you play? And most schools, I asked, and they're like, we're not playing South Dakota State.
in South Dakota, right? Yeah.
And he did not care at all, and you didn't care. There was the easiest game I've ever had to put together, ever. So
I can't tell you like I was super excited when I saw the lineups, but hey, for us to be able to play possibly a top 25 team, quad one, chance to get a win in South Dakota, like come on now, we got to take advantage. We got to take advantage of those opportunities, man.
You probably wish you would have that opportunity in February.
That's
right?
Yeah.
With this team.
Yeah, with this team
Last
for
year's
sure.
Team you would have taken November 4th.
Absolutely.
This year, so talk to us a little bit about this young team and unproven guys and who stood out so far. Give us a little bit of insight because we're going to need it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to have new guys come into your program too. I'll be honest with you fellas. I mean, the big guy that we got out of Washington State, Oscar Clough, when we lost Will to UCLA, I knew we would have a chance to be good this year, but when we lost Will, it felt like we needed to not replace, but at least somebody like him. And Oscar has been a beast. I mean, he's super physical. He's huge, but he's way more skilled than you guys think. Like we play through the post more than probably most teams in the country, and so I think that's what intrigued him to come to our place. We could play through him. He's a better passer than people think. He's a guy that's going to have to be huge for us. And then Kalen Gary was a beast for us last year. Played great at the end of the year. Had a huge Summit League tournament. Played well against Iowa State in the tournament. So just that competitive spirit, and he's 45 minutes down the road. So like that Jackrabbit pride, like it's something inside of him. So, and then, we'll play 2 or 3 freshmen that are battling. And I can tell you this, like we'll be competitive. That doesn't mean we're going to win every game that we play. I'm not saying that at all, but we'll fight like hell.
You got a couple redshirt freshmen too. How have they looked, and what is the value, especially in an era where you may get 2 seasons of actual playing from some of these guys that you're able to develop? What is the value of having someone a year in the system, playing, working out, learning?
I mean, it's a unique deal that we've been able to continue to do at South Dakota State. To be honest, I think 8 of our guys have redshirted. It's crazy. But it goes back to Mike Dom. Mike Dom, okay, top 10 all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball. He redshirted at South Dakota State, and our guys buy into it. But to be able to have that year of development and to be able to get stronger before they have to go compete against other teams is a huge deal. And so, yeah, we're going to play some freshmen and some sophomores, but a lot of times they're their second and third year in our program.
Yeah, the other part of it too is I do think that people can look at South Dakota State and say, this is a place where I can go and work for 2 or 3 years and then get to a Kansas or get to a UCLA or get to a Creighton and go be a first round pick, right? Like, I know you would like to have all of those guys stay for 5 years with you, but I do think that there is an element of we can be the place that for 3 years, if you give us 3 years redshirt and come play 2, and we'll get you to that place where you can make that next step. And I do see some parallels to what a Kansas does when they're recruiting like a top 25 kid. Say, come here, give us 2 years, and we'll get you to the league. Like, do you lean into that at all?
I don't know if I necessarily lean into it, but there is a little bit of sense of pride, in development and basically, what do you get into this profession for? For me, I mean, I've taught second grade, boys. Like I'm a teacher at heart. And so you want to watch these dudes fulfill their goals and dreams, right? And if they believe, going to Kansas, I mean, come on, that's Zeke's hometown. That's pretty cool.
How do you tell them not to do that?
That's like pretty cool. And for us to be able to help make that happen, that's pretty cool. And so there is a little bit of sense of pride in that. And what Baylor did, Baylor had no other scholarship offers. And for him to, came off the bench his first year at our place and then just had a, terrific career here. And obviously what he did at Creighton, and now he's in the NBA. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah. And there's also,
as a program,
there's also an element of when all of that happens, the best way to get like the publicity and the promotion for South Dakota State is for you to say like, hey, look, Baylor Shireman, because he still cares about you guys. Like he still reps you guys, right?
Oh, he's a great dude, and talk to Baylor and he's all of those guys, it's not that Baylor didn't love his experiences at Creighton. And I know Zeke and Will do great, at Kansas and UCLA, but they have a lot of pride in South Dakota State and what we accomplished here too.
What type of access are we getting on November 4th? Will Wade already told me he's going to eat Chislik in a timeout. I'm going to bring him a platter, and he's going to start just.
What you need to do is you need to come out a day early. We'll take you pheasant hunting. Yeah, the fishing's over by that time, boys. You might need a parka at that time, but you can do pheasant hunting, and there's some good old South Dakota stuff there. A lot of walleye fishing. Yeah,
never been walleye fishing.
Come in the summer.
I trout fishing, bass fishing. We went deep sea fishing. We went fishing down in Tampa Bay over the summer. My son caught some sea trout. We caught it. We filleted it. We cooked it that night. I'm a big fisherman now.
Oh, I'm not telling you I'm a big fisherman, but that's what a lot of South Dakotans do.
Yeah. No, so you know the guys who I can call.
Oh, we know the right people. We can get you access. I can promise you that.
All right, so you've skirted the freshman question a little bit. You said two guys are going to play a lot. Who? And I know there's a bunch of freshmen in your roster here, redshirt freshmen or true freshmen. Give me a couple that really are going to, because they're going to have to impact. I mean, I'm looking down the roster. There's going to have to be a few that impact.
Yeah, for sure. And that's pretty hard to do right now. But just a couple guys who've really, Joe Seiler, who's a redshirt freshman from White River, South Dakota. He's one of the state's all-time leading scorers. He's a really dynamic scorer. But to have that redshirt year and experience in our program, he understands what we're trying to get accomplished. So he's probably a little bit, got that step ahead deal. And then, we have there's a lot of them, but Owen Larson was a guard from Esterville, Iowa, whose dad actually coached at South Dakota State. He was born in Brookings, South Dakota. He's been terrific in practice and all summer long. Jaden Jackson, Andrell, Stoney, all those guys have had moments. And the nice thing is I don't think they have to do too much. They just have to be a part of it, and they just have to be themselves.
What's the crowd going to be like?
Oh, it's gonna be better than you think, fellas. I'll tell you that much.
My expectations are through the roof already, because the Pentagon's what,
3,500
seats, and I fully expect there to be like 5 times that many people that actually want to go to the game, right? So it better be loud, it better be crazy in there.
Oh, it'll be nuts in there.
That's my challenge to you.
They're coming. They're coming. I can promise you that.
Excited for this, honestly. And again, we're really fortunate that you guys and you bought in right when we talked to you about it.
And look, we have 3 games that day, right? And I think all 3 are going to be really, really high level basketball games. Great storylines. Scott Nagy's coming back to South Dakota.
Great storylines, fellas. That's really cool.
Chris Mack's back in the coaching ranks. We got Robbie Avila and Josh Schertz. Santa Clara is going to be really good. They keep sending guys to the NBA. But it's the nightcap. It is a potential top 25 team. It is playing on the road. It is that environment that we're going to be in. Like, that's, to me, the thing about college basketball. If you're going somewhere to watch the best product of the sport that you can get, you're watching the NBA. You're watching LeBron. You're watching KD. You're watching Steph.
Skill and talent. Absolutely.
That's what you're watching. What makes college basketball so special are the environments and the crowds and the fact that every single person in that stand is going to have a sense of pride about the fact that they either went to South Dakota State or they grew up in Brookings, or that is what their family does, is they go to South Dakota State games. And it's like that for all these little pockets across the entire country. And it's that sense of pride that just, you don't get that anywhere else in American sports, anywhere else.
I mean, it's purity. It's like, okay, South Dakota State is not supposed to beat McNeese State. And then, it happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen. There's no predictions there. But that's the beauty of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when you get to that level at the NBA, I think the cream rises to the top. You have 7-game series. It's not a 1-game deal. And so I just think that purity, that pridefulness too, it all plays a part in that. Makes it the best game in the world, and college basketball is as good as it gets.
It's why we love the sport.
In South Dakota, to be honest, they love quality basketball,
and love it because again, there aren't pro.
It's nothing else like no other pro sports, and so it's pretty cool to see as much blue and yellow around our state as there is.
Well, we'll try to do some if we can.
You don't have any dirt for? You don't have any dirt on them? You got nothing? You got nothing
have
good?
A lot of dirt. I'm going to save some of it for November 4th.
Nothing can top. Nothing can top. I think that was probably the greatest moment that we've had in Field of 68 Media Day history.
Well, I'll just tell you this. I mean, they've talked about moving the meetings to Sunday and Monday, and I told them, fellas, I'm busy. See you, fellas.
Oh, man.
Great to see you, man. Great seeing you, man. Always a pleasure. Yeah, send you guys over here.
Less than a month.
Yeah. Oscar and Kalen. Oscar Clough, 7-footer, preseason first. Was he first team? Second. He's in the second team. Got to get the list out here in front of me. And then Kalen Gary was also a preseason second team here. So a lot of the expectation, and they were predicted second, a lot of expectation being put here on South Dakota State because all they do is win in Brookings.
No matter what they have. coming back, no matter you know Hendu's going to get good players. He's
Come on,
going to
fellas.
recruit good players. He's going to develop them. That's kind of the beauty of this program.
Sit down. We are live.
There he
The
is,
mics
big
are
man.
hot.
Okay.
How you doing, Rob Doster? Good to see you, man.
What's up, sir? How are
Good
you?
to see you,
Jeff
Rob
Goodman.
Doster.
Good to see you, man.
Yep.
Jeff Goodman.
So if you have anything bad to say about your coach, don't. You can swear if you want. Hendo just came up here
Listen,
and swore.
you know
So
we're coming out November 4th. We're doing
Yeah.
your first game of the season. So any dirt that you have between now and then, you already have some. I know you're still trying to get some on Hendu. Save it, and then we'll get it from you like November 3rd. All right. So anything you got, anything good stuff that we can really rip on him for.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
right.
we'll have some stuff.
Well, you're going from you're going from Kyle Smith to Eric. Very different.
Yeah, very different.
Very, very different personalities, right? And your road's been crazy, right? Australia to JUCO to, Division I last year, Washington State, and then coming here. What's the transition been like for you so far coming here?
Well, obviously it's very different. New experience, Midwest. So, but it's been great so far.
Yeah.
So we'll
A lot
see.
of small towns since you've come to the
Small
U.S.,
town.
right? Right? You got used to that.
Douglas
Yes.
to Pullman to Brookings. Yeah, right.
did you grow up in a small town in Australia?
Nah, nothing like these.
Really?
These like Brookings is
Tiny
probably-
compared to where you grew up.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you describe Brookings to people that haven't been there? Throw your mic a little closer to you. Yeah.
How do I describe Brookings?
Yeah. How would you describe it?
I mean, it's cool. It's great. It's small. Everybody knows each other. It's kind of it. There's not a whole lot going on out there.
A lot of ball.
Yeah, a lot of basketball.
All right.
Kalen, with Zeke and William leaving the program, you're going to be kind of stepping into a bigger role this season. What have you spent the summer, the fall working on? How are you preparing yourself to be a leader and to be someone where, it's not just leadership within the locker room. You got to also get out there and produce.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's really changed, like, in basketball aspect. Just, like, just obviously trying to be a leader on and off the court, being more vocal to my teammates, and just anything they need. I want to always be there to help and just be the guy they can lean on and ask questions to, just with being more experienced guy on the team.
It's kind of a blueprint for this program to redshirt for a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys that are good enough, you come in, you redshirt, you wait your turn, you get better, you learn the system. You've had a few, you did it.
Yeah.
You've had a few this past year that did that, and hopefully will make an impact this season. How much did that help you sitting, watching, learning?
No, it's one of the greatest decisions I've made throughout my career. Just going against the first team in practice my first year, just my ball handling got so much better. Just understanding the game and watching from the sideline, just the littlest things during the game that can help you win. It was a great decision in my career, and I'm happy I did it.
Did you buy it like right away, or did you have to be convinced of it?
A little both. Yeah. Like Hendo kind of told me like I could get some minutes, but he's like, Mike Dom's the best person ever.
It's an easy sell, isn't it?
And I think he redshirted as well. So just a great decision that I made in my career, and I'm happy I did it.
Who's impressed you for some of these newcomers? And you can't just say Oscar. Like who's impressed you? Who has come in and you've said, they're going to have a chance to really impact our team?
I mean, all of our freshmen are capable of being good players at South Dakota State. I mean, two guards that stand out to me, Owen Larson and Jaden Jackson. They've been bringing it to practice every day. I mean, great approach, great mindset, and just willing to just get better every day. And they're great learners too. But yeah, they've impressed me and Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. I'm going to read you a quote from Hendo. He said, He has terrific feel and is a terrific passer, and I think he'll be one of the best players in the Summit League this season. When you hear a guy say that about you when he's just kind of gotten you into the program, that's the kind of confidence you want your coach to have in you, right?
Mm-hmm. Obviously, yeah. Well, Hendo was one of my biggest influences to come to South Dakota State. You know, obviously, you guys have met him. He's like a terrific bloke, right? So
he's entertaining.
He's entertaining, right? Yeah. Like, obviously, a lot of head coaches aren't going to be like that, you know? Like you said, Kyle Smith wasn't like that.
A little more, how would you describe Kyle?
Business oriented.
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
smart. No, you're right.
Uh-huh.
You're not wrong.
Kyle well. Like, Kyle's a great coach.
Yeah, great coach.
His personality is very different.
Yeah. So, obviously, with Hendo, that's one of the good things about him.
Take me through the recruiting visit that you had.
Man, what we do? Well, we tried coming into here, couldn't get in. There was a concert on, so we couldn't come in. Really? They didn't let us back here.
Who was playing? Who was the concert?
Country band. I couldn't tell you who they are. But
Oscar's not a country guy.
No.
I'm not either, Oscar.
No,
I was in my first country concert about 3 weeks ago. My wife took me to see who was it? Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll.
He saw Jelly Roll.
Yeah, right.
It was actually entertaining. Like,
Caitlin's like, "Oh man, you should have gotten me a ticket."
I liked it.
Not a Jelly Roll guy.
I mean, he's cool, but wouldn't be my first pick.
Jelly Roll.
I don't know what hey, listen, when you get married, you'll know. You don't have a choice sometimes. You just go. You don't ask questions. You just go. Oscar, how much he said about your recruitment here? How much did it factor in that they play through their bigs?
That was a huge factor, obviously, as well. Obviously, I want to have a lot to prove this year. That's going to be a huge impact for me as well. Obviously, the amount they play through their bigs, you know. So,
all right, Kalen, give me the story of, I believe, when you went to elite camp, maybe, or camp at South Dakota State. And I believe it didn't work out well the first time.
No, coaches said I played bad at league camp, but no, it was, yeah.
Didn't they stop recruiting you for a minute?
Yeah, they did.
Weren't they basically like, "Hey, we don't think you're good enough"?
Yeah. They stopped my going into my senior year summer. That I didn't hear from them my last AAU season at all, really. And then
what changed? Remember?
The game at
Pentagon.
Yeah, Pentagon against Dream City Christian.
So he's going to be ready for the Pentagon.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. What, you say the game?
The game.
Just
the game.
The game.
Yeah.
Would you?
The game that changed my career very much.
It kind of did, right?
Yeah.
So you got to tell me the story. What happened?
I was just I was planning on going to I had a couple of Division II schools in mind, maybe an NAIA school, and then I had a game the night before 2 nights before Dream City Christian where I hit 2 threes in 8 seconds to win the game, and then I could go to Dream City Christian game at the Pentagon, and I can't remember the stats, but I had a really good game, and then my phone was blowing up that night, next day, and I had my eye on one school. I already knew I wanted to go.
Did Hendo apologize for not sticking with you? No, none of that? Really, no apologies. he didn't blamed it on you, didn't he? He blamed it on you. You should have played better.
He just said I earned it.
He forgot to save he didn't lock in your name on the phone number, so he was texting the wrong person. Is that what it was? No, we put a 9 in there instead of a 4. That's our bad. Sorry, man. It is what it is.
Have you seen him throw a football ever?
No, actually, no.
Right? Pretty good quarterback.
He is?
Yes?
Wide receiver.
Oh, I thought you were quarterback. Wide receiver?
Yeah.
All right, maybe he could throw you the ball.
No, I cannot throw a football. Don't give me a football.
No, we don't want to see that.
Nah.
All right.
Owen Larson was the quarterback on it.
Who was?
Owen Larson.
Oh, yeah.
Was your quarterback in high school?
No, he was on the team now.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so are you an Australian rules football fan?
I'm a rugby league fan.
Rugby league fan.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me the rules of rugby? I've tried watching it before. It makes no sense.
Isn't it just you kill everybody?
Yeah.
Are there rules?
It's kind of football with no pads, you know. You got to throw the ball backwards and try and score a try, right?
Did you play?
Yeah, back when I was way younger, but then I got too tall and everyone just wiped out my legs. And I was like,
They,
I'm
they
good.
just undercut you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
too big a target.
Uh-huh.
Man. Well, you guys excited for November 4th? I mean, McNeese State, they're going to be like fringe top 25 national team. Like,
Do you guys know who you're playing on? Like, did you know that was a thing, or were we just kind of talking to you about the November 4th game? Are you fired up for it?
Oh yeah,
right.
hell yeah. No, we
we can't wait. Like, we're so excited, put together this triple header at the Pentagon, and it started with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically the start. And
I'll tell you what I'm the most excited about. I don't want you guys to let me know. Well, probably Kalen, you let me know what we're in for. Pentagon is what, 3,500, 3,200, 3,500 seats, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be completely packed with blue and yellow. What's that a home game experience going to be like? I know it's not a home game, but what is a South Dakota State crowd experience going to be like for us?
Fans getting on their feet. I mean, we got the best. I think the best fans in the nation. Like, they're so supportive, and they're just the nicest people.
How loud is it going to be in there?
Pretty loud. Yeah, we're going to run.
Get going.
And it'll get going.
How far was your high school from Pentagon? How far are you? Where you grew up?
Hour 5, hour 10.
Yeah. So you have a bunch of family there?
Yeah, they come to all my games.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Richie's only about 40 minutes from my hometown.
Will your family from Australia, did they get out last year at all? Will they come this year?
Yep. Both my parents are coming up. Dad's coming up in February for a month, and Mom's gonna come up for graduation. So
really,
where in Australia were you from?
Sunshine Coast.
Okay, are there direct flights from there to Pullman, Washington?
No chance. I'm
got to connect a few times.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a long trip.
How long
isn't
is
it?
that? How long does it take?
Total travel time's probably 26 hours.
My
maybe a
wife
little less.
and daughter, we lived in Boston, and they've been trying to convince me to go to Australia for years. They want to go, and I'm like, I can't do that flight.
Mhm.
Like, I just can't be in a like. I have a hard enough time. 6-hour flights now from like Boston, LA. I can't even think about that.
No, it's
Brutal, right?
17 hours on a plane. 14 hours on a plane.
Right. Awful.
Straight.
Awful.
Yeah, it's not great.
Where
I mean, you need
you're
first
7 foot, but where are you
Right.
sitting on,
I
on
got
that
the
plane?
exit row.
Yeah, you need
have
the
to get an
exit
exit
row.
row, yeah.
If you don't, somebody should be giving up their seat.
Are you taking a pillow and just laying down and taking a nap in the aisle?
Sometimes, yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
All right, listen,
So
guys.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you. We made that. We can't wait to see you guys. We'll be here November 2nd, actually. We may try to get out to Brookings if we can get over there quickly.
Hendo wants to take us pheasant hunting.
Have you been pheasant hunting? Either of you ever?
Yeah, I go.
I heard it's a
big
thing.
It is a big thing. You've gone,
Yeah, like since
kid.
yeah,
Since you were young.
yeah.
So maybe he can. My guess is he's way better than Hendo. at pheasant hunting.
There's no chance
Right.
Hendo's.
Assistant coach is the big pheasant hunter.
Who?
Rob Clinkfus.
Oh yes, he's
Yeah.
good at it.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clink seems like a pheasant hunter.
Yeah, he has hunt dogs and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have him take us.
And he don't miss.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
No, he's a good shot.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I'm worried about with him. Like,
I can shoot anything.
Yeah,
I know where it's
exactly.
going.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, listen, this has been a blast. Summit League Media Day. It's always fun when we make it up here to Sioux Falls. We will be back in, I think it's officially 27 days from today. We'll be back up here in Sioux Falls, ready to see these guys play a little bit of basketball. Appreciate you tuning in. We got to go catch a flight. It takes off in an hour and 52 minutes. We are headed to Charlotte for ACC Media Day tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Come back.